Still waiting for the Deidre poop.
Nice.
Okay, honey.
What?
I was trying to see if everyone was there and ready.
I'm not here.
Ah,
I was busy drinking the good wine instead of the nasty lemon lime wine.
Hey, Sage,
Oh, you
this
bought that.
beer here, you're gonna love it. It's the best IPA I've ever had. Better than
Ooh. Oh,
Spotted
God.
Cow.
As long as it's not like super duper expensive. Like I've seen
Oh, no,
some at
it's
the liquor
cheap.
store, they're stupid expensive.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody ready?
I guess.
yeah.
All right. I'm gonna start it and do the whole intro, and then Jacob can recap, or I can recap in the intro with the short bit that you've told me. You can
I'll
recap
follow
it.
after your bit, homie.
All right. All right. 5, 4, 3. I'm nervous and not ready.
Everyone
Alright.
starts
Hi
nervous.
everyone, and welcome to the Birdcage Theater. Here at the Birdcage, there have been over 16 gun and knife
yeah.
fights, resulting in 26 deaths, 25
Mm.
men and 1 woman, leaving over 140 bullet holes throughout our building. Now,
Why
most
did
of
more
these
women
bullet
die?
holes were not from gunfights, but from rowdy cowboys.
That's
Right up here in our original Cherrywood Belly Up bar is a shot from a 45. Right here between the ceiling fan and the chandelier is a shot from a 32.
every
And
time
thank
my
you for
dick
listening.
fires off, my gun fires off too.
Oh no.
For every nut, there's one bullet.
I just imagine you just full strapped and you just have it against your thigh.
Oh God, full strap on.
You see,
Oh yeah.
you see, I got a double barrel. I gotta reload after 2 shots.
What the fuck?
In a G-string.
Yep.
All right, now I'm gonna start the recording. Jesus Christ,
It's all right.
that's a lot of bullet holes, though. Holy
It's
It was
tight.
only open for 8.5 years.
That's a lot. Okay, that's a short time span for that many bullet holes and that little deaths.
Well, here's the thing: is Tombstone was a boom town, so their only income and brought people out was the silver mine. So once the silver mine closed, everybody fucking left.
That explains a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Hey, welcome back to the Rolls for Trolls podcast, where there's a bunch of amateur D&Ders and some veteran D&Ders, where we all just try and figure it out together and kill things, sail along, and see tree people.
Yeah, welcome back. There's bullet holes everywhere. Please help.
Take it away, Jacob.
Well, after that intro, I'm just sailing and ready to go. Well, last time our players started their journey on the cusp of the unknown world, sailing on the seas, following the shoreline around to get to the northeastern point of Ohikika, were all informed of the hired mercenaries under the kings of Illyria, foretelling possible ideas of ruin and chaos beginning to unfold. After saying goodbye to their pal Avali and Hyde with Friola, Jack, and the Akuma daughters in tow, the group teleported away back to their home planet and return in 1 week's time. After some strong winds and a vision given to the captain by the goddess of the seas blessing, the group hurried forward into more unknown waters. As the group began to familiarize themselves with each other over food, drink, and a few dice games, the day was bright and clear in the skies. With that, what would you all like to do for the day? As the day is about mid-evening, the suns are high up into the sky, seagulls fly overhead as it seems that even the rain itself begins to stop and clear as the rays of sunshine beat on the deck itself. I believe remember, One Eye, Oma, Deidre, and the captain were all sitting in the captain's room playing a game of dice. After a few, I think 3 rounds or so, it came to Oma being the winner of all 3 rounds, just based on the 3 rounds, not necessarily saying the game is particularly over. But I believe Thulgrim and Bugger were also dealing with a bit of a hangover and a stupor, as well as Rana just kind of finishing up her meal for the day, in this mid-evening day. Pretty much the beginning of the day. Necro, I believe you were also meditating on the bow of the ship still? Or just kind of hanging out?
Correct. Hanging out, meditating on the bow of the ship.
As Kilroy is managing the ship, and it seems clear skies and still waters, is there anything that anybody would like to do right off the cusp?
Yes. Where is Johnny Five?
Johnny Five is alive. He is up on the helming the ship at the moment,
Okay.
at the wheel.
I would like to go talk to Johnny Five for a second.
Okay. As you stand up from the table, you kind of scoot your cup with the dice away and start making your way out of the door as Oma gleefully looks over the dice that he won again. As you make your way out of the room, you can easily make your way upstairs as well to the and you see him just kind of spinning the wheel along and then just kind of holding it from about just hands across, staring off. Occasionally he reaches down to a small satchel onto his side and then pulls out a spyglass and kind of looks over the shoreline and then back again and looks down at a compass and then turns to you when he hears you walking up towards the helm. Is there anything I can help you with, homegirl?
Yes, there is. So, I was here to help my friend register his name because he was really shy and scared around you.
Kilroy kind of turns his head, almost like turns a whole 360 as his body continues to manually take care of the ship's direction as the wind kind of catches your hair a bit as now you're kind of sitting and standing at the helm. It's pretty clear skies. The wind isn't too strong, but it kind of gusts a little bit and kind of puts your hair in your face as you move it from your forehead. And Kilroy turns to you. What do you mean?
The user. Oh, Kilroy, you're real funny, buddy. So
Funny.
you know the.
You want to hear a joke?
Yes, I do.
You see its eyes begin to whir and click as you hear the mechanical parts begin to shift as its face turns from a small just slant as it smiles again and then goes back to a normal gestured face. What? What did the cleric say to the bard?
What?
Hello.
I hate that.
I'm gonna give him a little bit of an applause to boost this poor little robot's ego. That was very nice. Now, my one friend, he looks just sad. He's like covered up. He's got some scars on him.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah. So I need to just, because he didn't give you his name, and I just wanted to give it to you for him, so he'll know you're addressing him.
Are you speaking about the one that the captain gave the name Ghost?
Yeah. That's not actually his name.
I see. I can reprogram it for you.
Awesome. Whenever you're ready.
You watch as he has to take his hands off the wheel and turns, and you watch his body kind of click and whir as his eyes shut and then reopen again. Please speak the command.
Skeletor.
You see as its eyes blink and whir as it begins to take in the information, and it kind of registers, and you hear this small little clicking and popping sound as its head whirs for a moment and stares back at you. Registered.
Thank you very much.
Kilroy nods. Of course, homegirl.
Oh yeah, that's my shit.
It turns
you,
and then
Kilroy.
begins to turn the wheel again.
With that exchange, I am done.
Alrighty. As you start, are you just kind of making your way across the ship?
Yeah, I'll stay on the top deck.
Okay. You occasionally see some boxes and crates shifting about across the dock. Well, not the dock, the actual quarterdeck of the ship, as you see a few kind of brooms pushing like loose water from the rain off to the sides as it kind of spills off to the side of the ship. Uh, One Eye and Oma, is there anything you're doing in the room as the captain kind of leans back in her chair, gazing over, and then like looking helplessly at the few dice that she does have in her cup as she slides it across? Well, I think the game's over.
I suppose so. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna step up and step out of the room, I guess.
As you go to step out of the room, she goes from a very lax position to a sitting up position, and she kind of looks puzzled for a moment as you kind of begin to stand, and her eyes begin to jerk and her teeth kind of wince a bit as you watch her kind of lock up into the chair, and you feel almost a strange draft in the room and the smell of seawater as you watch as her eyes begin to roll into the back of her head and begin to shine a glimmering gold light, and as water from the sea begins to pour from her eyelids down to her cheeks as she stares and her head kind of snaps to attention and turns as you hear a voice come out of her mouth, not her own. Sing.
Hold on.
Child of the moon is approaching. As
Okay,
the captain snaps again and then hits the table and begins to lay still as she falls unconscious.
Okay, sorry, but I caught none of that. Something about moon?
The words that came out you did not recognize, but all the words did say was, "A child of the moon approaches." As the captain's body kind of leans forward in her chair as her head kind of slams into the table, unconscious and unmoving.
It's just
I heard that's unhealthy for you. All right, I'll go over and check her pulse.
It's just
You check her
Valgrim with
pulse.
his ass
Her
out.
her heart beats a little high, but she's alive and completely fine.
All right, I'll probably move her over to because we're in her quarters.
Yeah, you can see off to your left-hand side a desk and a few chairs, and off to all the way across from the other side of the room is a large like bed.
I'll probably just pick her up and put her in there.
Okay. I don't think you need a strength check. She's pretty light. As you kind of carry her, as you carry her as well, she is kind of strangely lighter than what you would have imagined. As you kind of like carry her over to the bed and lay her down, her hair kind of like falls over your hand a bit, and as you're carrying her over, you notice that even her skin, when you touch it, it is very cold.
Hmm. I suppose. Yeah, quick medicine check to see if it's discern if anything's wrong.
I didn't quite hear that.
Would I be able to do a medicine check to discern if anything is wrong?
Yeah, go for it.
So, it's
15, nice. You kind of go over, look at her, open her eyes a little bit as she's laying on the bed. You kind of check her pulse on her wrist again, look her over around her neck. You don't see any issues. Her heart rate seems normal as she's now laying down in a more comfortable position. She seems quite healthy. She just, it kind of reminds you of someone that's just kind of like either fainted or some kind of possible trance. And as you kind of set her down on the bed, you hear footsteps making their way back to the room, to the captain's quarters, as the door opens, and you see Kilroy step into the room as you kind of check her pulse again, standing over nearby. I'll put you over here and put her over here. Kilroy steps into the room and sees her laying unconscious, and you kind of just standing there. Oma kind of turns to Kilroy and then turns to you. Do I need to do something?
No, I don't believe so. I just kind of mumble while still doing what I'm doing.
Kilroy's head kind of turns to you. What happened? Did she faint?
Yes, I believe so. Collapsed at the desk, or at the table, excuse me.
Kilroy kind of approaches you quickly and then looks her over, and you watch as his eyes kind of light up and begin to scan her body for a moment. Pulse seems normal.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, she's well, but out.
Did she say anything or move erratically?
Say again?
Did she say anything or move erratically?
Something about a moon child.
Sometimes she gets visions and voices from the goddess.
Noted.
For a long time. What were you saying?
Kilroy had said.
Oh, Kilroy just says it happens a lot.
Oh, okay. I was just say, well, I'll leave it to you then. No,
Thank you.
Recovery. And I'll step out of the room.
Sometimes it's hours, sometimes days.
I'm assuming the ship is well enough controlled with her absence.
The seas are calm. It should be fine.
Hey, what's that big block of ice out there?
Just hear the like a really poorly played recorder version of the song.
Kilroy just opens a cassette in his chest and starts playing it. But Kilroy kind of just kneels. Kilroy just kind of kneels down towards her and kind of tucks her in and brushes her hair from her face as you kind of step out of the room. Is Oma following you?
Of course.
Okay. As you walk out into the deck of the ship, you will see Deidre also coming off the steps of the helm and kind of standing on the quarter deck.
Well, the ship doesn't need me to do anything, so I'm just gonna meander.
What are you doing?
It's free.
You're cutting out, sorry.
I'm just saying it's gonna meander and do it.
Okay.
It's free.
Alrighty. As you can just meander, you see Deidre on the quarterdeck as well, and after a few moments or so, Kilroy comes out of the captain's quarters and immediately kind of like locks eyes with you, Deidre, as he comes zipping out of the room. The captain is under the weather, but he will be back momentarily.
This is addressed to all of us?
Just to you, One Eye and Deidre just kind of standing there. He just kind of outwardly says as soon as he sees you both.
So was there an honorary captain then?
Me.
Get wrecked.
Oh, I see. I was thinking we'd make One Eye the honorary captain, seeing as like that it would just be interesting. That's all.
Holy hell, Bugger's stealing the ship.
I am the second mate. I am now the captain.
Look at me.
Okay.
I am the captain now.
Look at me. Look at me. He makes a few steps toward. He makes a few steps towards the helm, and then adjusts accordingly. And then you see him kind of just cast his eye and then pulls out another spyglass again from his pouch on his left-hand side, and then he brings it out and then looks over the horizon, kind of just scanning the shore.
Yeah.
Rana and Thulgrim and Bugger, what are you guys doing? You're sitting at the kitchen, finishing up your meals for the beginning of the day, and kind of just sitting across from each other as Bugger kind of stands and stretches and finishes up lapping up some water in a dish, and finishes up the rest of the hay bale, what's left of it, on the ground that wasn't cleaned up by the invisible servants.
Is this is it just us? Like,
It's just you, Rana, and Bugger in the kitchen.
Is this a closed room?
Yeah, it's closed.
Other people can't hear us.
To your knowledge.
Can Necro hear?
No, you can't even talk.
You're above them, but the slacks of the wood are pretty thick and well lined. I don't believe you could hear them, especially with you being in the open on the top with the sea kind of all around you.
Yeah, but Necro has this ability to, take off his head. So I think he hears more than he thinks he hears.
Yeah.
And I think there's a chance.
Are you leaving your head there in the kitchen?
Well, no. I'm still up here. I'm like right above.
He's just gonna bowling ball it down.
No.
Things that other people simply don't hear. They're called the voices in your head.
Yes. Because I think I should be able to roll to see if I'm able to hear him directly under me. Because
if you want to put your ear to the floorboards underneath you, go for it.
To let the voice win.
Yeah.
Go for perception.
I feel like this is gonna be a high DC
with a disadvantage because of the sound of the sea.
Alright, you want me to just roll normal?
Yeah, normal's fine.
And we're dealing with a lacquered, thick, reinforced.
You said perception?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Natural 20 and then plus 8. Wow. All right.
You can hear bits and pieces and murmurs of conversation, but unless Thulgrim and Ron are screaming at each other across the table, you're not going to make out too much of what they say. But you do hear Thulgrim and Rana speaking to each other.
All right.
The mumbling of what might be words.
I will respect the natural 20. All right.
Let's go.
It's time to scream my deepest, darkest secrets.
All right.
Okay. So, it's kind of obviously Rana and I have been traveling for a while together outside of meeting the group now. So I'm just gonna look at her and be like, "Oh my god! Finally, don't have to talk like that. It's it's a pain in the ass." How are you faring on the seas?
I'm doing okay. I've never been on a boat before.
I've barely been out of a major city or off of a mountain, let alone a boat.
It is strange I've never been off of land. There's some odd people on here, but they're okay, I think.
I think you should be at home though, because the ship's made of wood. And you like wood?
I like trees, if that's where you're getting at.
Trees are wood. Wood is boat.
Yeah. Did you drink something at breakfast, or are you just feeling sick?
I try and tuck the half-drank bottle of mead kind of down out of her sight. Put that away. Hope she doesn't see.
Are you trying not to let her see?
Yeah.
Alright,
Try
give me
to-
you gotta roll for stealth there, or a, what is that?
Deception.
Sleight of hand.
Yeah, sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Necro definitely wants to be walking down there right now because he doesn't recognize a voice. With haste.
Okay, as they're kind of talking, and you're kind of talking as well, first give me that sleight of hand.
15.
Alright, perfect. What's your passive perception, Rana?
Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up.
I motion that the landlubber should have to roll con for seasickness.
You know where your passive perception is.
Come here.
I'm actually trying to find it. Hold on.
If you go under your
It's
skills,
your wisdom. Yeah.
right under your skills, like the big list of
16.
skills, it'll say a number: passive, wisdom, perception.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
16, so she definitely sees you copping that.
Get wrecked.
So you see him trying to hide it from you.
Well, looks like you already have been.
Nothing wrong with a few drinks at breakfast.
And
As you say
lunch.
that, bugger kind of just kind of gets up on his hind legs on one of the chairs and kind of looks up at you as he kind of starts looking to lick at the bottom of your beard.
And brunch. And Brenner. And dinner.
Oh, I was the alcoholic, but
And
I even draw the line at breakfast.
supper.
As you're saying this, you hear footsteps start walking towards the door of the kitchen as the door flings open with Necro stepping in.
And there's nothing quite like having a stiff drink whenever you're having dessert.
Necro.
Hey, it's the creepy fella.
Necro's like frantically looking for this voice that he heard earlier. He
You look
knows.
around and kind of like gaze across the room and doesn't look anybody else in here.
I try and hand him the half drank bottle.
Nope. Necro doesn't see him, so Necro immediately leaves and is going to head over to One Eye.
Okay, you see One Eye kind of just making his way to the midpoint of the quarter deck with Oma in tow.
He can't hear us anymore, correct?
You believe that after you hear his footsteps disappear across the quarter deck, you feel like he went across the other side, or at least went to the underdeck.
Well, I want Necro like still listening for this voice, like he's freaking out that there's an intruder on the ship.
Where the
Yeah,
hell
you
did
see
he come
Nick-
from?
Well, you see Necro making a kind of like a fast jog towards you.
Noted. The
As
quiet
he,
one strange again, no surprises.
Yeah, he kind of comes up to you with a bit of a pep in his step as he walks up to you, and Oma kind of sits off to the side a bit.
As soon as Necro gets up to One Eye, like before he even says anything, he's gonna quickly scribble in, "I think there's an intruder. I heard a different voice," and hand it to him.
Alright, I'll bite. Where?
Necro just kind of shrug his shoulders, and kind of point toward the kitchen area.
He's crazy.
Crazy, but
The guy that can't even speak is hearing voices.
Now, trust me, I'm taking it with heaps of skepticism, but I won't completely disregard considering I'm not doing anything else important at the moment. So I'm just like, all right, fine. I'll look. Did you even look? I'll ask.
Necro's gonna shake his head yes, and then like, kind of like get in like a kind of stealth position and like put his like finger to his mouth to like be quiet so we can try to like sneak up to the kitchen.
I'm having flashbacks to back when before Rowan could talk.
Just signing and just like looking off.
Just grunts.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I don't know if when I gets the like idea that I want him to be stealthy in coming up to the kitchen.
Okay, and you see
No,
Necro
no,
kind of
no,
just like, as he's like talking to you, he just kind of like, as he turns face towards the kitchen, he just like starts like slowly creeping towards the kitchen.
Oh, you talking about me?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Necro.
Necro does. Okay. Yeah, I see Necro go for want to be stealthy. I'm like, uh-huh. And I just walk to the door and just push it open, just like aggressively, scaring him.
You see Necro creeping like a goddamn creeper on tippy toes across the quarter deck as One Eye just calmly walks behind him, just like looking at him over and over questionably.
Oh
As
no, I'm
Oma
not.
kind of just
No. Yeah, you misunderstood. I'm not going behind him. I'm literally just like briskly walking past him,
Okay.
just slam the kitchen door open.
Okay. Necro, as you're kind of just like creeping slowly and just like have your back to One Eye just kind of just briskly walks past you completely, just ignoring this whole stealth as Oma kind of just walks in between your legs, Necro, and just keeps following One Eye.
Nice. Yeah, I guess as soon as he like Necro gets the idea that he wasn't stealthing, he's just gonna like like walk normal. He doesn't want anyone to know that he was being
It's
stealthy.
fucking weird.
Being casual, but you see like One Eye just like pass by him, Necro kind of in a brisk fashion, and then Necro kind of like his shoulders kind of slouched or more relaxed and kind of just mimic One Eye's approach as you watch them both walk towards into the kitchen.
Yeah, and I just no hesitation, just burst into the kitchen. Like I said, I have my spear in hand, shield not, but spear at least.
Fulgrim and Rana, and you see this One Eye kind of step in with spear in hand, shield. Did you say shield to the side as well?
No, I don't have my shield.
Oh, okay. Just spear in hand, questionably looking around and gazing around. You see Necro kind of just like peering behind him a bit as Oma walks forward into the kitchen and just kind of looks up at the large ram just kind of like put up on the stool as the ram kind of turns and then gets down onto the ground again and meets Oma's gaze as he kind of looks down at him as these both creatures just stare into each other's eyes for a moment.
Yeah.
Did I just hear a
Yes,
beep beep?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Oh
Bugger.
God, I'm communicating. Oma just tries to beat back.
Just wide-eyed.
Beep, 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 beep.
Morse code back and forth.
So obviously, I recognize one person. Now, I don't recall if our characters had been introduced to.
Very briefly.
It was a brief kind of conversation. You know her name, and you know that Fulgrim immediately stood up for her and said that she's cool, like everything's good here, we're just kind of traveling together, and that was kind of like the quick conversation when Frayola kind of appeared and then dropped a lot of information, and then you guys made your way to the ship.
Okay, yeah, I thought we had met. So so I'm just gonna burst in there and just be like, look around, see those two and the goat. Look back at. I am just drawing all the blanks on names.
Necro.
Necro, yes. I don't know why it blanks so quickly. Anyway,
You're totally good, I do it all the time.
look back at Necro and just be like, okay. Nobody I don't know.
Nah, Necro's gonna grab another piece of paper. There was another man's voice. Write that, like, and then immediately give it to him.
Thorgrim and Rana, you also see this as Necro just begins to scribble down on a piece of parchment and then hand it over to One Eye.
All right, fine. I look over to I look over to the other two, and just say, "Is anybody else in here?" Kind of exasperated.
I'm mid drink.
As you say that, One Eye, you see that bugger has like gotten edging like closer to you as you kind of hold the piece of parchment with Necro's words on it scribbled down as it kind of opens its mouth towards the parchment and gets like real close to putting it into its mouth, and so you don't notice as it tries to nibble down on the parchment.
I'll pull it away because it's Necro's and not mine.
It like Bugger immediately looks saddened and then turns down to Oma and then Dad
Did you
and
say
then Oma.
butter?
Bugger. I said Bugger. I swear to God.
Yes!
God damn it! I'm being tricked.
This isn't Rolls for Trolls. This is South Park.
Butter ram. Butter with a ram on it.
Ram with the butter on his head. Butter ram.
Butter ram.
Butter ram.
It's just butter ram.
Oh god.
Well, what kind of butter is it?
I would love a dish made out of like the shape of a ram to cover my butter.
Butter ram.
Butter ram. Don't put that backwards. Ram it in the butt is not the good thing.
Mm.
That's for after the recording.
Mm. Pilgrim,
now
as
that
you
I'm
finish
disappointed to
down
go-
this large gulp of drink, do you say anything to this?
What? What did you say?
Apparently, Necro is hearing things. Is there anyone else in here?
Hey, if he's hearing a beep beep, that's just booger.
I'll just give him a stare.
Beep beep.
A Necro or Bugger?
At Thulgrim.
Mm. Yeah, Necro wants to like fully get in the doors. Like he was like standing in the doors right away, but he wants to kind of like walk up to Thalgrim and just start looking at him.
At that point, I'll probably just turn it over to you. Be like, all right, you can figure this out.
I can't.
Call me if you need me. I know. I'll just
I
be
try.
like,
Necro's
it's like,
unable to
I'll be on
call.
deck if you need me, and I'll just give a wave and walk out the door.
I try and hand him the bottle again. He's come back in and got in my face again. Do you want the bottle or not?
Necro's gonna write another piece of paper. It's just gonna say some words for me, and hand it to him again.
No, you
Or,
hand it to him and
no,
you're
I'm handing it to
with off.
Thalgrim. Thalgrim.
Okay.
Some words. You've heard me talk.
Bugger immediately starts coming up to you, Thulgrim, to nibble down on the parchment.
I let him.
He immediately starts munching it down and stuffs his face with the parchment and then looks over at you, Necro, and then kind of like gives you like a weird kind of stare as he like chews the paper slowly.
Beep beep.
He's asserting his goat dominance.
Looks like you don't have any butter, friend.
Necro's gonna pull a stool right next to Thalgrim and just kind of just start staring at him.
Okay.
That's it. He's just gonna sit there right now because he needs to think.
Alright. Well, Necro
I'm-
goes doing the full
um,
thinker pose and just sits in a stool and
Bro,
stares
I'm
at you,
moving over
Thorgrim.
here. Homeboy's weird.
No,
Okay.
Necro's just gonna keep following, like stool to stool.
Okay, you see Necro just hop from stool to stool and then just rotate around the room back to you to be like right next to you. Thorgrim just staring at you.
Hey,
Bugger
Rhonda.
also finds this amusing and begins to hop around the room and follow Necro.
Hey, Rana, do you wanna switch seats with me? This guy's creeping me out.
I think you can handle it.
Necro's gonna write down a piece of paper and hand it over to Thalgrim, but like on the table so Rana could see this.
Hey,
And it's gonna ask, "Are you a shapeshifter?"
it's more goat food.
I think he's asking you a question.
I think he's asking you.
Well, he placed the paper in front of you.
It's kind of, it is both.
Well, I'm not the shape-shifting one. You're the one with the animal.
It's Pterodon and companionship.
Yeah, Necro's just gonna keep staring at Thalgrim.
Just gonna kind of lean away from it. try and just drink my drink. Keep side eyeing him.
Is there like a role for like, I don't want to say intimidation, but like awkwardness where like he might slip up and speak normally during any of this?
No,
I
that's
mean,
kind
you
of up
could-
to him.
So if you're trying
I
to
mean, if
see
you
if
want to
someone's
intimidate him, you can.
No,
if you're
no.
trying to see if someone's lying about
Oh.
something or trying
Yeah.
to find the truth of something,
Perception, maybe?
you would normally do an insight check.
Yeah, you can
Oh.
do insight to see if he feels like his body language is like lying to you, or possibly like he seems untrue about his statements.
No,
Like, you
Necro
would
just
do
wants to make him
insight
feel
against my-
uncomfortable to see if
No.
he's gonna like slip up.
No,
Oh,
homie,
if you wanna-
you're succeeding in making me uncomfortable. Like, don't doubt yourself there.
Yeah, you can easily make him uncomfortable with an intimidation check if you really want to do that. But that's the only role I guess you can really gauge from that. But besides that, there's not really any other thing you could do.
I think
Well-
in character you've already nailed it. So
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
already nailed it. I don't think you need a roll for it.
Necro's just trying to see if he slips and
The
speaks
picture painted in my
differently.
head is weird enough.
Okay.
There's some
Keep staring
fucking
at him.
there's some tall mute fucking goth mute that won't leave me alone.
As intently as Necro stares at you, and Bugger continues intently staring at Necro, it is just a chain of awkwardness at this dinner table.
Necro feels none of this awkwardness and feels like it's normal.
Okay.
of course he does.
Necro's just gonna kind of keep following chair to chair to Thalgrim. And if he keeps moving side to side to Rana, then Necro's gonna keep doing it too.
That's totally fine. While that's going on, Deidre, is there anything you're doing on the quarterdeck?
I want to go by the people.
Well, you probably would just see me walking back out of the kitchen. Everyone else is
Yeah.
in there now.
Yeah, as you make your way towards the kitchen. You said you just want to go with everybody else?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
pass by One Eye, obviously on my way to them.
Yeah, and Alma as well.
Yeah. Howdy, Captain.
Greetings. I wish.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I'm just letting you know, I go to bat for you as the captain. That robot,
Why?
you can't trust him.
Yeah, I certainly do wonder about his capacity for autonomous thought, but fingers crossed. I'll take the ship if we need it.
Alrighty. I'm gonna pat Oma on the head. First, I'm gonna kiss my hand and then pat his head with my hand.
Oma will allow this and be quite happy with it.
Alma looks at, he does exactly that, and looks over at you, One Eye, and then look back at you, Deidre, with a bit of glee.
He does some tippy taps.
Yes.
He does the little, like, what lizards do with the little happy dance when they get food.
I've not seen a lizard happy day, but I will
It's
take your word
weird.
for it.
It's just front and back legs going up and down. Like a trot, kind of in place.
Yeah, so basically like a dog tippy tapping.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just a scaly dog.
As you
Yeah.
pass by them both, Deidre, and you walk into the kitchen.
No, I don't
as
want to
you-
walk into it yet.
Hold on. I want to do something before she walks in too.
Okay. What
I
are you
wanna
doing before
lean
you
up
walk into the
against
kitchen?
the door and like try to peek in.
Okay.
See, I'm gonna be.
Are you trying to be sneaky about it?
Yeah.
Roll a um, just yeah. Man, I don't know what would be good for that in this scenario.
Stealth.
Yeah, stealth
If I'm
can be
just kind of
fine.
like leaning against the door, trying to peek through it.
Yeah, that's fine. Stealth.
Okay. What did we get? A 9.
You feel pretty sneaky as you kind of slowly push open the door as it kind of creaks. Everyone besides Necro notices you. Kind of the door kind of creaks open a little bit as you see not really sure who it is necessarily, but you see an eye kind of gazing into the kitchen.
Nah,
Okay.
that makes sense because during this, Necro is currently looking at Bulger.
Bugger?
Bulger.
Butters.
No, I said
Butters?
Bulger. Looking at
He's looking at my
Bugger.
bulge.
Feeding him paper and asking him the hopes that he can understand him, like not like loudly, but like kind of to his ear, just like kind of talking in like a low voice. I know there's someone here, a different voice. Tell me. Just asking Bugger.
As you're saying that, he kind of like the very
Bite him.
large pupil of Bugger kind of just like looks at you very coy and kind of like as you kind of like lift his ear a little bit, whispering into his ear as he kind of kneels down. He kind of like gets close to your face and kind of rubs against the side of your face and starts slightly nibbling at the hood of your cloak. As
Oh no! I'm shoving paper in his face to eat.
Oh, while you're doing that? Okay,
Yeah.
He's just chewing gleefully on the paper and just kind of staring at you intently. And as he, like, swallows another piece of paper, you watch him begin to shit onto the floor.
Ew. Also, how audible is Necro's whispering to everyone else?
Are you trying to be pretty sneaky about the whispering?
Well, I know Thulgrim and Rana can't hear me, but like I wanted to say it to the point where like they don't know I'm speaking. I'm just being weird. If that makes
Okay.
sense, like I'm like
So you're trying to play it off then?
yeah. Like I'm just like inspecting the RAM for some
That's
weird
okay.
reason.
I give you a sleight of hand then. You're trying to play it off.
All right.
I don't know.
Roll a deception. Your choice.
Play it off with a wood elf in the room.
We'll do a sleight of hand roll. You just want normal?
Yeah, just a normal roll.
All right.
Yes!
We got a 3 there.
That's
A nat 1. That's a nat
Nat
1.
one.
All right.
You feel very confident that no one can hear you, but as you're whispering, you're like when a child is whispering. Everyone in the room knows this child is whispering.
I'm whispering loudly.
As Bugger as it's the mix of just Necro kind of talking, and then everyone else just hears. I mean, technically, no one can hear Necro speak, but you just hear almost like this dead speak of like sounds of like whispers that just sound like.
all translating to Mom doesn't know I put butter on the RAM.
As Bugger's just wide-eyed, chewing loudly on some parchment. You all see this as well, Deidre.
So I would hear that from the door then.
Yes, you would also hear his words, though.
Yes. Well, I speak undead. Let's go.
I want to
wanna-
try something real quick.
I, w-
So,
Okay.
oh, sorry. Did you want to do something first?
I just wanted to lean over to Rana and just kind of like more lean over, just kind of softly say to her in Elvish, "Igowine ufoir."
Necro understands this. 100%.
I also understand it.
Speaks Elvish.
Well, yeah, he worked with an elven king.
I'd have to agree.
I think actually even One Eye knows Elvish.
Oh God!
Oh my god.
Why does everyone know Elvish?
I'm an elf.
I'm sitting here thinking of fucking being sneaky. Jesus. Okay, well it's not.
I'm not 100%. I could be wrong. Let me find out.
Jesus
I'll figure out what to start.
Necro's gonna look over to them, making sure that they know that Necro understood everything.
Honey, you can also speak Dwarvish because I know that, so it's okay.
Well, it's too late. You already decided to make it
Yeah.
awkward. You had to make it awkward.
These
Just
two-
let him know for future reference.
These two silent conversations definitely were not a silent conversation.
Well, hey, I didn't roll for mine. Okay.
You just fucked up.
Nobody would understand him.
I really thought no one. I didn't remember that DJ was fucking elf. And...
Which everyone in the room just hears, this guy is not right in Elvish.
I even had it typed out specifically to Jacob and Sage to make sure.
Deidre and Necro, yeah, you wanna do this. And while this is going on, One Eye, what are you trying to do?
I was gonna say, I was gonna see that everybody
Boy, right.
see that everybody was heading in. I was like, yeah, you know what? Why be a downer? I'll go see what everybody's up to as well. So I turned around and decided to go back into the kitchen.
Okay, you see Deidre just kind of like poking her head.
You know, but
You see Deidre kind of poking her head into the room, not being the most sneaky. Are you going through the same door she's peeking through, or are you going through the other door?
yeah, I'm just gonna walk through back to the door I
Okay.
came, or whatever door I left through. I'll go back through.
Where
Okay,
I'm peeking from.
yeah, it's the door you're peeking. You see Deidre peeking from, and you just kind of awkwardly like shuffle your across the side of her, as she's clearly not very well hidden. And the door just opens as you guys see One Eye re-enter the room with Oma in tow.
I'm just gonna
Oh,
grab something
Shit,
that I
I'm
can.
just gonna go back in.
You do notice One Eye that they all have switched seats except for Rana.
I'm just gonna grab something that I can eat, like just casually. I mean, not something that requires like any sort of intensive, like I don't know,
Scale off Oma.
There's there's like a bowl of fruit in the middle of the table.
Perfect.
Like an apple or something.
Yep, oranges. Avoid scurvy.
All right, orange, perfect. You start peeling it with your claw.
Can I try
Yep.
one more?
So, and this is the point where, as I'm partway through the orange, I'm like, you know what? I want to try something, and I am going to cast. If I can. There we go. That
Oh, speak with animals, perfect.
animal.
Beep beep.
All right, you imbue
I'm gonna
yourself
see what the
with.
beats mean.
Okay.
I've been trapped in this goat body for 7 years now.
That's like Justin Long's wife, the monkey.
What are you?
I'm-
what are
I'm
you doing with
actually
this?
Daniel Radcliffe. Help me.
So, once I cast it on myself, of course,
Correct.
and I'm just gonna look to Blugger,
Mhm.
be like, so, how are you feeling? Not
All right,
seasick, I.
So One Eye sits it down, starts peeling an orange, takes like one part of the orange out, eats it, looks across the table, and you see this magical effect go around his body and mouth and like his eyes for kind of cast across the table, and he just kind of locks eyes with Bugger, and his mouth just goes
Beep beep.
ba, 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 over to
Oh,
Bugger.
so the components are verbal somatic. So you just see me like I start peeling the orange, just wave my hand in the air and just speak a bit of Draconic, and then just go back to peeling the orange and just start talking to Bugger.
Yeah. So what did you say to Bugger?
It's like, feeling all right? Not too sick, I hope.
Bugger just like immediately has your full attention as it kind of stops chewing the parchment in its mouth, as a little bit of drool kind of drips from its chin.
I've got bug on me.
This paper has filled my sustenance.
Oh god. Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
god.
glad.
But I do well.
How long have you been traveling with the dwarf?
Many moons, many suns.
What can you tell me about him?
He
Reliable?
Bugger nods and then kind of looks over to you, Fulgrim, and then looks back to you, One Eye. He is kind.
Good.
He is delicious. He smells just like me.
Rude. I have a question. So I've never fully understood this. To speak with animals, is One Eye just speaking in common tongue and he's just able to comprehend it, or is he just full on beeping at Bugger and they're just beeping?
Yeah,
back and
they're
forth to everyone
beeping.
else?
100%.
I've always
Back
played it
and
as I've always played it as my character just starts making noises that sound like the animal he's speaking with.
Yeah, I always played it off that way as well. So you just hear just two basically
There's
lambs
two
speaking
cars
back
on the
and forth.
ship.
It's like I'm stuck in traffic in New
You even
York.
see mid-conversation, Bugger kind of even looks over to you, Thulgrim, as like silence has kind of been across the table as the hot potato of seats has kind of stopped, as everyone's kind of spilled into the room, as One Eye and Bugger are just like in full conversation.
I'm going to interject and go beep 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 beep.
Bugger looks over to you, Deidre, and then back to you, One Eye. What does the woman speak?
A language far beyond me, I'm afraid.
I want to enjoy more paper.
I just look over to Necro. More paper, please.
Bugger's actually the campaign's big bad evil guy.
Bugger just looks over to you, Necro, with like a weird, you know, like when dogs do that awkward like side eye.
Yep.
He just does that completely to you, and just like mouth begins to drool again as the parchment is just swallowed.
Bugger's the BBEG and he's just out to rid the world of paper.
Yeah, but yeah, I just turn to Necro and he's calm and just say, "Yeah, he wants more paper."
Yeah, Necro will keep giving him more paper.
Okay. He just
So
he
I think-
begins to engorge on some more paper. This will suffice.
Well, if you say he's a good guy, then I'll take your word for it. Thank you for your time. And then I go back to eating my...
I'm gonna lean over Bugger, like rest my arms on his back, and
Okay.
make direct eye contact with Necro. So who do you think's the plant? You were talking about it.
You say plant? This
Like the
isn't
spy.
This isn't Necro responding. You said plant?
Yeah, who do you think's the spy?
Yeah.
Plant as in spy, the
Yeah,
synonym?
Necro's gonna look at Deidre with confusion. Because Necro has no idea that Deidre knows this.
True.
And is like curious on more information.
You were talking about like an extra person being here. Who do you think it is?
You hear her words clearly as well.
Necro is going to he's going to stop feeding Bugger for a second and write down it was in this room and then hand it to her.
I'm not even gonna read the paper. I'm gonna give it to Bugger and like hand feed him over his back.
Like a goddamn
Use
shredder.
your
it goes down.
words.
Necro's gonna rewrite it and hand it to One Eye. And then write Deidre knows ?
To be honest, at this point, I don't know what you two know.
You
For
feel
the
he's-
love of
you feel like he's
Christ!
hinting at the weird reason why he even had you come into
Yeah.
this room
Yeah,
earlier.
about the spy or the plant.
Yeah, no, I gathered that, but it just seems more like you guys are crazy rather than there's actually something going on.
Yeah.
Beep beep.
Well, Necro is going crazy right now, so that makes sense.
Oh, there we go. That's a question. This lasts 10 minutes, by the way, the spell. So after I say that to Necro, I'll just turn back to the goat. So, Bugger, is there another person in this room, or do you have Thulgrim and what was her name again? Sorry,
Rana.
Rana. Have Thulgrim and Rana been the only ones in here with you?
Besides the people cooking the food, I do believe not.
Talking about the invisible servants cooking the food?
Ever nods.
Yeah. So then I turn back to Necro. Yeah, there's nobody else in here.
Necro's
Unless the goat lies.
gonna like stand up like he's mad for a second. Write down there was another voice in like all caps and like bold, like, to the point where like I scribbled deep enough to like go through like 6 pieces of paper, rip it out, and hand it to one more time.
Yes, I get you. I've read the paper. I'm telling you, there's no one else in here.
Yeah, Necro's,
I'm gonna glare at Necro and One Eye, kind of like the side eyes, real quick. So I don't like being left out of conversations that I started. Be a big boy, Necro, and use your dang words.
Start
I know
calling
you know
out
how
Naruto
to.
gang signs.
To be honest, this has a certain air of comedy to it. I've been sort of enjoying as I pop a piece of orange into my mouth.
yeah. See, Necro's still convinced that no one can hear him, and it's just frustrated. So he's just gonna sit back down and just kind of glare at Thulgrim, but like side eye, like how Bugger was staring at me earlier.
I'm going to leap over Thulgrim and slap Necro.
What am I that? I'm not that short.
No.
Oh, I mean Bugger.
Yeah, you don't need to lean over Fulgrim. You're all on the other side of the table, but yes, Bugger.
No.
Just jumps over me for no reason.
Assert dominance.
Okay.
I would also like to vault over Thulgrim.
As you slap. Well, actually, no. This would have to be a roll to even hit his armor class. Are you actually
okay.
trying to hit him?
Roll a d20.
Well, this is like a little slippy slap.
Roll a d20.
18.
Oh shit.
Is that your
I'm
armor
mad.
class?
Yeah, it does.
You feel a warm sensation across your face as Deidre whips her palm against your face. Deidre, your hand immediately feels cold as you touch him.
1 point of bitch slap
And
damage.
technically, no, it's not. It wasn't damaged, so it doesn't count. So I'm not going to say that won't
Damn
happen.
it.
But you do feel your hand is cold.
She takes the chronic damage by touching me.
Or slap the side of a freezer.
She got frostbite.
Yeah, you love tap the freezer, basically.
When I
As long
just
as there's a
continue to
tub
eat
of
another
ice
piece of
cream in there
orange.
for me, I'm happy.
Fulgrim, what do you say in Dwarvish over to Rana?
I'm just gonna kind of look at her like, holy shit, like, just the look on my face like, holy shit, they all speak Elvish.
Well, I've got news for you, buddy.
Swap over to Jesus Christ. Swap over to Dwarvish because we've been traveling. She knows that too.
Okay.
God. Why does everyone speak it?
Well, mine makes sense. And so does Deidre's. And so does One Eye's.
Not the. No, he's a lizard.
He's a traveler.
That's racist.
Leave him
A
alone.
traveling lizard.
I'm a merchant
Yeah.
by trade.
Indeed.
He is the snake oil salesman. He's not selling it.
Ooh.
So I look at Rana and in Dwarvish say, Vem frart orgathir irgana froth.
One Eye chimes in. No, I'm just kidding.
Hilarious.
No, that is a language I don't know.
Beep beep.
And Necro's just gonna ignore the warm feeling on his face.
Wouldn't you like to know?
I'm
I mean,
going to
besides
walk
me.
next to Necro. So are you ready to talk now, or are you gonna be a child?
Necro will like look up for a second, point to his throat again, like to the scar, and then go back to deeply staring at Thalgrim.
When she speaks as well, her words not necessarily are different or anything to anybody else, but they are very vibrant when she speaks to you specifically, Necro. You can hear like almost even under her breath like these weird hints of like when Weejaws and Death himself even spoke to you. This weird, slight like hush cadence that's kind of like emboldens her words as she speaks to you.
I think if Necro was calm, he would notice that right now. But he is at the point of going crazy because he thinks there's a spy or someone's lying to him right now.
Okay.
Oh, for the love of Christ.
It just makes sense.
No, what the?
Hey, look, I already confirmed with the goat. We're fine.
Mother looks over to you, Necro. Ah.
Can I translate?
Yeah, if you still got time on it, and it just says paper. Paper. Paper.
Yeah, no. But before he says that, Necro is gonna go back looking at Bugger, and like not aggressively, but like put his hands on Bugger and be like, where is the spy? And speak to the Bugger one more time.
As I'm standing right next to Necro, I grab him by the shoulders and shake him. What spy?
Yeah, Necro's so confused that.
Do you say that to Bugger?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you say that to Bugger, you immediately, I mean, would know that if you're talking about a spy, and then immediately Deidre is like spy. It feels like there could be a slight connection there, but that's up to you.
No. Necro's gonna stand up and like look at Deidre with the most confusion in the world and just stare.
When he stares at you, Deidre, you get like this weird, like, feeling, like almost like a deja vu, like that very long confusion, like even when a child does something wrong or doesn't understand truly the unjust of the world, it's like this weird gaze that you guys kind of have for a moment, and it brings you immediately back to a slight memory that you have when you had a vision about Necro standing in that same field with that frog at your feet. That same unweirdling touch, or that even feeling, kind of like almost kind of comes up in your chest, and you feel kind of like a bit of a warmth there as he kind of stares at you.
So you finally acknowledge that I can hear you.
Necro's gonna keep just staring because he's just really confused right now. And, being a man of few words, he has no words to speak right now because he's confused. but he is currently acknowledging the fact that he thinks Deidre can hear him.
Even when she says those words, it has that same like underneath each word she's saying as it comes clear into your mind. And as you guys are having this kind of still silence, all of you hear the sound of footsteps as they make their way towards the kitchen door, and the door actually opens towards where Rana is kind of sitting. As you see, Kilroy opens the kitchen door, staring at everyone now. As like Necro is kind of standing in a bit of huff towards Deidre. We have an issue.
And Necro's gonna, when he hears that, he's gonna say to Deidre, "There's a spy on this ship," and then turn to the robot.
And
Okay.
nobody else brings him, yeah?
No, this is in Undead.
Yeah.
It's the
I figured. I just wanted to confirm.
It's the only language that Necro is able to speak out loud.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
so as soon as Kilroy comes in and says that, I'm just gonna be like, just getting interesting. What is it?
There seems to be an old man on the sea.
I'll investigate. I get up and walk out.
Okay. As you walk out, are you following out the same door or the opposite door with Kilroy?
If Kilroy's still in the doorway, then I'll just go for the other one.
Okay. You both kind of walk out at basically the same time and step out as the door begins to swing, and Oma kind of walking out towards you, and he walks out. Actually, Kilroy walks up to you and then walks through and past you as he kind of goes to the side, the right-hand side of the ship, and kind of leans over and then takes out a spyglass and holds it out for a moment, and then points into a direction and hands you a spyglass.
And I'll also take a look in that direction.
As you do, you see about a good almost 150 feet out. The sea is quite still at the moment. You see, it's a little hard to tell from this distance, but with the spyglass, you see a long bearded man with long gray hair. You see him wearing what looks like loose-fitting garb and clothes. Very looking like a shawl with a large collar that's kind of rolled up, and you see it's kind of hard to see at the moment, but as the ship kind of sits and you kind of still yourself with the spyglass in your hand and your other hand kind of sitting to steady yourself on the side of the ship, you see that this older man is kind of just standing and walking on the sea itself with a bluish cane, as he just looks like with his opposite hand that's free without the cane, kind of looks like he's throwing something out onto the sea. And as you kind of look on the bottom of his feet, you see fish actually eating something that he's kind of tossing out to the actual sea itself. And on his back, you see a large satchel and what looks like an easel.
Can we keep an eye on him? I'm going to get my things.
Understand. Should I make way towards him?
No, don't approach him unnecessarily. If he approaches us, just be prepared. I'm gonna go get my things. And I step away.
He is kind of blocking our way. Should I go around?
No, stay the course, I say as I'm walking away.
It'll be course. Understand. As you start making your way down, you hear just him zipping across towards the helm to keep the ship steady.
Yeah, I'm gonna arm up just in case.
Okay. You gotta make your way and start arming yourself. While that's going on, what is everybody else in the room doing? Over you see kind of Necro and Deidre in a bit of a heated discussion.
Real quick, you would probably hear One Eye outside just yelling, "Stay the course."
Yeah, you all would probably hear Kilroy. He's quite loud when he speaks. So, and with the door of the kitchen kind of swinging and swaying back and forth as it comes to a still, you would definitely hear most of their conversation because it's not too far off from the side of the ship.
So you're asking me and Rana what we're doing?
I'm just asking everyone in the kitchen.
Oh, she's AFK right now, so.
That's okay.
Do we want to take a
I'm
pee
just
break?
gonna. Oh, how long have we been? Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Let's take a small pee break then.
Pee break.
All right. Perfect.
I'll have you know I have a
Be
big
right
P.
Uh,
I hope you take care of that big pee.
I
Hey, guys.
will in 3 seconds.
Hey guys,
Bye.
we'll be back after this break.
All right. to it.
Alright, let me unmute everything.
Alrighty.
Unmutify us.
Stay unmuted forever.
Let me know when you're all good.
Yeah,
Bark
we're good.
directly into the microphone.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
back.
Drop the microphone.
All right. Now that everyone's done with their big P's
And little peas.
and little P's,
Thank you.
We
all
don't pee
respect for
shame
little
here.
P's. No pee shaming.
Pee shaming is my kink.
To the puddles to the lakes, we don't shame.
Sounds like you're frying a very small batch of chicken.
Mmm.
Sitting all by yourself, handsome.
It's just a single fryer with one piece of chicken.
All right.
I hate that I know the reference.
Now that we're back and One Eye has his armor on and is making his way back to the quarter deck, while that's going on, Necro and Deidre, is there anything said or done while One Eye rushes out of the kitchen and you hear this small exchange between One Eye and Kilroy?
Yeah, Necro's probably looking at the door, wondering what's going on.
Maybe the spy's out there.
Or maybe he should go check.
You can actually say that. That'd be so funny.
Maybe you should fuck off and go find him.
That's creepy, guy. Maybe we should just go do that.
Oh no, I think I heard something off of the side of the ship.
It's in the water. Go get him.
It said something about I'm a spy and then went splash.
He said the wrong thing.
That's how every great spy exits the area they're spying on. I'm a spy.
Yeah,
Now, Necro's gonna turn over to Deidre real quick. He still hasn't processed in his head yet that she can hear him, but like also he understands that she can hear him. It's a weird dilemma
You're
going on in
grappling
his
with the
head.
fact.
Yeah,
He just don't more CPUs. Get that processing power up.
yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
really know what's going on, but he's gonna
I just-
turn to Deidre and said, "There was another voice in this kitchen. I think it's Thalgrim," and then quickly run out to go see what was going on outside.
Okay. As you make your way out as well, I was gonna say something. Now I totally lost it.
Oh, and give Bugger one more piece of paper before he
Did,
leaves.
did your thought jump into the water after declaring its spyness?
I don't believe so.
I'm a
But
boss.
Bugger munches down on the piece of parchment as you make your way out the kitchen. Is anybody
see if
else
I can-
doing anything?
No, but I can see if I can jog your memory. Old man, Kilroy, me,
Yes, yes. But it's not coming to me. It's fine.
rest in pepperoni. All right.
I wake up in the middle of the night screaming about it, so it's fine.
Aw.
There's an old man in the ocean.
Spy.
There's cake in the ocean.
There's a spy eating cake with an old man in the ocean.
And fish.
It's that game where you pass the message along and it gets all fucked up.
Telephone?
Yep.
Yes.
I too can't
Haven't heard of it.
That game is called.
Carrier pigeon.
Pilgrim, Rana, are you doing anything?
Has the weird guy left me alone?
He has
Yeah.
walked out the door as he watches the kitchen kind of door swing slowly to a still.
To feel comfortable, I'm gonna need that character token to move away from me.
Alright, I got you. Don't worry. The bad man's gone.
Alright, oh god, he's back! And he's gotta get...
Instant transmission behind you. The
He
moment
comes
you feel
back into the room
comfortable.
for a brief moment. I recognize him and just go, I'm a spy.
Teleports behind you. Nothing personnel, kid.
Is Deidre still in the room too?
Does he notice that? That's the question.
What, that you've left?
Yeah. You're so focused on Necro leaving that
You were.
you don't notice Deidre's still in there.
Well, she was just
Hold
on
on,
the
hold
other
on.
side of you.
Well, no, but hold on. I'm gonna see if I can get away with some bullshit.
Alright, that's what I like to hear.
Mask of the Wild.
Okay, cool.
Can I do?
You can immediately,
Uh,
so you're immediately attempting to hide. Alright, cool.
Can I counter perception check this?
Well, first you would have. Does that give you advantage to hide, or you just basically get to hide?
I think it gives advantage.
No, it says she can attempt to hide.
No advantage. That it just gives me an action to hide.
Yeah,
Puts a
go for
plate.
it.
Puts a plate in front of her face. Don't see me.
The moment Necro makes his way out of the kitchen and the door begins to kind of stutter a bit, Deidre brings her hand to her face and then starts kind of like noticing her surroundings and tries to blend in with the back of the kitchen wall, I guess, and kind of, are you like crouching down a bit?
Can I try and hide kind of like underneath and behind Bugger, like between him and a stool?
Sure, go for it.
Dives under the table.
Do I need to roll
you
for
try to
that?
do like the shape of Bugger just to get behind him perfectly.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, just roll. Just a straight.
Just a straight what?
20.
A straight. Isn't it? It's just a hide, right? Isn't there a just a
Hide
hide?
skill check. No, I guess it would be a stealth check to hide.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you don't have the skill, yeah, then it's just stealth check.
Oh Jesus.
Well, hide isn't a skill. It's just a
Oh.
stealth check.
Yes.
Okay. What did we get? I can't see. 11.
You feel pretty hidden.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, Rana and Bogram and
Oh god. That's
Wait.
a one.
I think Rana needs to roll disadvantage because she's way on the other side of the table. Don't you think?
Oh, you got a
Oh.
4.
unless
Oh,
you
that's
want
a-
to use your passive perception, Rana. If you want to just use your passive or just roll to see if you see Deidre.
If
That's
she
up to you.
if she cares.
The passive
Football,
perception was a
football.
13. Fuck. You're muted.
Now they're both muted.
My bad.
You're good.
I mean, I don't feel threatened that she's there.
Okay. You
But
just
do
see
you
her.
notice her?
So yeah, you're just gonna use your passive, and you just see her kind of like crouch down behind Bugger and kind of hide away as Necro leaves the room, and Thulgrim has his back turned. And Thulgrim, you turn and you do not see Deidre anywhere. She just disappeared. As you just see Bugger kind of chewing paper, looking over at you.
I'm gonna here and here. Hold on. I'm gonna keep it dwarvish.
Alrighty.
Is jag told er zikrin dock jag gått vrati I ilvid bekna viziare draga.
Deidre, you just kind of hear and see just Thulgrim speaking Dwarvish to Rana, as she just kind of listens and nods. Is there anything else you would like to do, Deidre, while you're hiding?
No, I'm gonna get up and walk out.
That was in his normal voice though.
Oh, it was. It wasn't your like disguised voice. That's true.
No,
I
it was
mean,
just
it's
it
a
was just
dwarvish.
softer.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Nope.
Okay.
You were
just-
supposed to pants him while you were hiding.
Oh, was that?
It was just softer. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I didn't do anything yet. Now that
just
that's
said
an
that you stood
option.
up.
Everyone keeps like. I had the weird guy near me. I was just speaking softer to her.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and pants Valgrim.
All right. He is sitting.
Mhm.
So you're going to try to pull his slacks down while he sits?
Actually, jokes on you. I don't wear pants.
Are you wearing a skirt?
Nope, it's a It's a acolyte's robe.
Oh, he's wearing a skirt. Never mind. Dang it.
It's an acolyte's robe.
It's
Is there
a
any ties
skirt,
in back?
okay.
Did you grab
No,
some
it's
butt
just
cheeks?
a robe. It's pulled down from above.
Hold on, but I have a dagger, so I'm gonna try and at least make like a little slit in the back, so it looks like one of those sexy little dresses. So it kind of shows the back of your legs and up your butt a little bit.
If I notice that, since this is a holy garment, there will be problems.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't do that then.
There
Yeah,
will be
a holy
direct
garment.
problems.
I
That's
think
This is
exactly
all-
what we're trying to do here.
I think
Deidre.
you just grab his ass.
That's a ways down.
Yeah, I'll goose him.
You're just gonna try to pull on his robe?
No, I want like a full handful of butt cheek.
Okay.
Where's the roll to fart?
You can get
Make sure to get towards the middle.
you can do a sleight of hand if you'd like to cup a cheek.
Sure.
9!
Alright.
Okay, hold on.
Are you rolling to fart?
It should be Constitution. Constitution saves.
Intimidation.
No, your constitution.
God.
You're not intimidating farting on someone.
She's cupping a fart.
You get a constitution check. If it's low, then you're gonna fart. If it's high, then you hold it in.
No, I'm trying to fart.
No, it'd be the opposite.
Okay, there you go.
And if he nat ones, he shits himself.
About to say, like, are we rolling to shit
Alright,
our pants?
what's a-
Like,
what's
what's
a
going
fort-
on?
What's a 14?
As you cup a cheek quietly, and then you, Fulcrum, you thought that Deidre was completely disappeared, and you immediately feel this hand caress your kind of side cheek as you're kind of sitting down, turned towards Rana, speaking in Dwarvish, and the sudden shock of a hand just immediately on you kind of brings a slight chill to your spine as you let out a small toot.
Is it a dainty fart?
It's a dainty fart.
Like a
Yes.
boop.
It's gonna smell though. These are mead farts.
Oh,
It's
God.
silent but deadly.
With hearing the slight poot, I'm going to just walk away. I'm leaving.
Alright, are you walking past them or going around the table?
I'll just walk right past him. I've already touched this man's butt. There's no shame.
You walk by me. There's gonna be more than one undead guy on this boat.
Jeez.
Good thing I'm a lady.
Alright, you walk past them both and just kind of awkwardly shift by as the door kind of swings to a close. You see Necro kind of standing off to the side of the ship, and you see Kilroy at the helm. At this point in time, One Eye, you'd be making your way back up the stairs in full gear and whatever else you needed to require.
Yep. So I'll probably just make my way back over to that side of the ship, and 100 and so many feet, I could just look at the guy. I probably wouldn't be able to see him like crystal clear, but I could see him.
Yeah, you see, as well as Necro, as you're kind of like trying to look at exactly where this old man is, apparently, you see just like this small dot kind of like on the sea.
What's the distance you think it is? You think it's more than 50 feet?
It's roughly 150 feet.
Roll perception.
Oh, 100 wouldn't be like a dot on the sea.
Yeah, no. Necro definitely knows what 50 feet is.
Well, it's not necessarily a dot, but the sea still moves, so it kind of obscures a bit at occasional points, but it's pretty calm. It's just kind of hard to see from this distance with
Look out, it's old Greg.
the sun very high in the sky, glaring down.
As he leans out over the boat, all he hears is, "You ever drink Bailey's from a shoe?"
What are you doing, Necro?
Nothing.
Nothing. Just staring off into the distance.
Yep.
What about you, One Eye?
I'm going to take out my signal whistle and just give it a blow.
A little toot.
Okay.
Little toot.
You blow
Just
the
kinda-
whistle, and by the time that you come back up from the actual lower deck itself, you actually see that it looks like he's a bit closer to the ship, even though the ship is keeping a steady course.
Right. Yeah, I'm just gonna blow the whistle just to kind of. It's basically just an alert whistle.
Okay.
That's the
How
goal.
many is it like a long burst of like you're blowing into it or like short bursts?
Like one long note.
Okay. Kyoto keeps the ship steady as commanded, and you see it's kind of hard to tell from where you're standing, but you're just kind of looking off in that direction, and you see the older man kind of just like still walking across the sea, and he kind of just raises a hand, kind of just waving.
I'll wave back, and I'm actually gonna cast thaumaturgy on myself.
Okay.
Uh, just enhancing the sound of my voice, or not the sound, but like the volume.
Okay.
And let me see. I think it lasts 1 minute.
Gandalf in this shit.
Yep. It's 1 minute.
Yep. Yeah, up to 3 times as loud. So I'll
Paper.
also speak. I'll speak a little louder. So and I'll kind of not yelling, but like speaking loud, and then obviously being amplified 3 times over.
Projecting.
You should be able to hear me. So
You're just projecting.
indeed, I'm hyper projecting with magic,
Gandalf projecting.
basically. I'll wave back and then just I'll cast that and then just say to him, "Greetings. What is your purpose?"
That you watch Necro as you see one eye. Is it? It's just it just immediately happens. You don't have to wave your hand or anything like that.
Let me check what components thaumaturgy needs. I think it's maybe just verbal, or it might be just somatic. Hang on.
Yeah.
It's verbal.
Okay.
I'll just mutter something to myself in Draconic and then just start speaking.
Yeah. You hear this booming voice across the sea, and you being quite knowing of the sea, you watch as you know that words travel quite far, even at normal volume across water. With you amplifying your voice, you see a couple seagulls from that are kind of like just nestling on the sails themselves, and immediately take wing at the sudden jolt of sound as it casts across the sea. And then a few moments go by as you watch as the figure from off in the distance kind of brings his hand to his head, and in your mind you hear, "Good evening. I just was going for a stroll and noticed your vessel. I mean no harm." That's all he says.
Okay, I'll respond. Well then, I'm glad to hear it. Enjoy your stroll. I wish you well. And I'll give him another wave. And I will about face and go about my business back on the ship. No, I'm not going to disarm, but I'm just going to act as though I have no ill intent.
In your mind, again, you hear these same words. Not the same words, but you hear the familiar voice. "My stroll is coming to an end here soon. Do I have permission to come aboard? Is this your vessel?"
Of course, as I as I was about to turn around, I just halt and turn back to him. "'Tis not my vessel, but I believe it at the moment I am in charge, and as such, you have my permission to board."
No.
Pilgrim, you step out of the kitchen with Bugger in tow. Are you just coming down to the bow of the ship, or are you meeting everyone on the side of the ship?
No, we're just kind of going up to the bow, take a look around.
Okay. As you
We'll probably end up seeing this, but
Okay, yeah, you kind of step out and you see them kind of, you see One Eye kind of shouting across the sea towards this person across that you can't really see that well, but you walk down towards the bow and you see these large artilleries, and you see just these this large three-barreled giant cannon, and you see this like crates and what looks like barrels of powders, and the smell of black powder and the sound of these like magical orbs that are nearby this large three-barreled cannon begin to like hum as you get closer to them, and you can see like slight like arcanum sparks kind of going off of them occasionally.
Neat.
That's pretty cool.
I don't feel like it'd be like weaponry like that would be anything new or different to a dwarf.
Actually, this type of weaponry is a little foreign to you. You don't really necessarily recognize. You've seen large like cannonballs and stuff like that, but you've never seen such intricate-looking glass spheres. The only one that you've ever kind of seen is when you were in the alleyway for about a moment. You saw One Eye snap a revolver in half that had a small, similar-looking orb in the center of it that was cracked and broken away.
Okay, I'll just kind of make a mental note of it.
Mm-hmm. As you do so, One Eye, are you still looking out to the sea?
Yeah, if he's coming aboard, I'm gonna watch him.
Okay. As you gave the word, and you see his hand kind of lower to his side, and he still has the cane in hand. You watch him as he kind of tucks the cane under his arm a bit, and with very unnatural speed begins to bound towards the ship.
Obviously, I'm gonna be wary, but I'll not do anything rash yet.
Okay.
You watch and just
What about you, Necro? As you watch as this old man begins to bound very quickly towards the ship.
Necro's gauging the distance.
Okay.
He's trying to figure out when exactly his radius here of.
Okay. Are you trying to hold a spell? Because I can get
Oh
tell
no
you
no
when
no
he's
no
in
no
range
no
or something.
no.
Okay.
Necro's not trying to hold any spells.
Alright,
If anything, he's getting ready to throw something.
Real
Alrighty.
quick,
Yes.
Before he approaches anymore, does this ring any bells for me? As like far as like, are there any sailing stories about old men in the ocean, expeditions or anything like that?
Not to your knowledge, but you do know that you've met and talked with sailors or even captains or people that have scrounged interesting items or possible spells that have. You've seen people cast spells to be able to walk on water, but you don't really. That's the only thing that kind of comes to mind. It must be some kind of arcane thing.
Okay, but there's no like tales of wandering old men in the ocean.
Yeah, no, that's a
not
good
to your
idea.
knowledge.
Has Necro heard any legend like this from like the king or anything like that? That's a good
Why don't you
question.
both give me a history check?
It's a very
Yeah,
good question. This ain't too far away. Oh, well, I get -1, which got me a
19.
nat 20.
Oh, just a natural 20, -1.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, flat 10.
Yeah, you don't really necessarily heard tales of like strange old men walking on the sea or anything like that. Necro, not as much as well, but there's a few conversations you've heard from either merchants that have come in or even a lot of wares that have come into the shop in city itself. You've heard about like possible like enchantments or spells that allow someone to walk on water necessarily, but not necessarily any stories per se. You have heard drunken tales of beautiful women and like sirens walking on sails and water to pull in sailors into the depths of the seas, but you haven't really heard of any tales of an older man or anything like that.
All right.
All right, so he approaches then, yeah.
He approaches quite quickly as he bounds towards the ship, and he gets about 5 to 10 feet to the ship, and doesn't. He kind of stops for a moment. As he's a lot closer to all of you now, you can see he is an older man, long white shaggy hair, with long white beard, hazel eyes, with big bushy eyebrows. And now that he's closer, you can see this cane that he kind of is walking with. Now tucked under his arm, but when he comes to a still about 5 to 10 feet right next to the ship, he kind of plants it down to the sea again. This cane is quite intricate and gives off a kind of a shimmer, almost like a fish's scale. It kind of has these weird etchings across the cane itself with large waves crashing and symbols imbued into it. You see what looks like waves and fish kind of caressing the lips of the cane as it goes all the way up, and near the curve of the handle is just a mermaid's body cresting over water, intricate, built in into the cane. And you can see around the handle itself, even from this distance, it gives off a slight little glow. As he steps forward, you can also see on his back these large packs, and on his clothes you see paint smudge and different markings across his clothes. And you see this large easel kind of hanging off his back as he gets closer to the ship, and he kind of brings his hand to his beard and kind of runs his fingers through it, and then kind of looks up at you guys from down about 50-60 feet, and then he kind of lowers himself down to closer to the sea as he kind of cups a bit of water in his hand, and then kind of lets the sea run through his fingers and looks back up to the ship again, and he jumps a whole 50 to 60 feet and lands down onto the ship. And lands actually planted right on the side of the ship, where you guys have your kind of hands planted in this immediate rush as you kind of bring your hand away not to be stepped upon. I even have a token for my man. As he kind of stands on the lip of the ship. And he does a bit of a bow with his cane stuck under his arm, and then stands up straight again, as much as he possibly can. He has a slight bent to him. Good evening.
I'll give him a nod in return.
You haven't given me your names, per se, but the name's Kamir Lee.
Kamir Lee? Is that what I heard?
Yes.
Who's Lee?
I'm known as One Eye.
Pleasure to meet you.
Same to you.
He steps down off the ledge of the ship and kind of stands in between all of you a bit, kind of looking everyone over. He immediately eyes you, Necro, and he kind of gives a bit of worry to his brow for a moment, and kind of looks over down at the dragon and sees now Deidre kind of stepping out of the kitchen across from the ship's anchor. He kind of gazes across and kind of just gauges everyone's around him, and he even peers down towards where Fulgrim and Bugger are. Is this all of you?
It's most of us.
He kind of looks up at the sky and then back down at the ship and kind of inhales a bit. I thought I smelled more of you, but who am I to encroach upon? Good evening, I guess, and I assume. He turns to you, Necro. Your name?
Necro's gonna look at One Eye and kind of gesture.
Before One Eye can say anything, his name is Skeletor!
Amir kind of looks wide-eyed over to you, Deidre, and then back to Necro. Skeletor. Huh. I mean, you kind of do look like a skeleton.
Hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yeah, Necro's not going to say anything.
He just kind of, just awkwardly looks over at you and then side-eyes back to One Eye. So, you're the captain then?
I'm a stand-in.
Stand-in? What happened to the captain?
She's resting.
I see. And the one helm in the ship?
Her first mate.
I see. Did she fall ill?
Not that I can tell.
I see. Are you travelers? Or...
That'd probably be the best way to describe us, yeah.
Of course, you don't have to delve into the details if you don't want to. But, he kind of takes the easel off of his back and kind of sets it down. He kind of sways with a slight hook for a bit as he kind of props it up. As he's standing there, you guys can smell, like, as he stands there, the smell of, like, herbs and dirt, oils and, like, paints and, like, a slight tinge of, like, rotten fruit. As he kind of just sets the easel down and kind of inquisitively kind of looks about. Well, do you mind asking if, what's exactly is your destination?
Hold up. Excuse me, One Eye and Skeletor, can I sidebar with you?
Oh, please go ahead. I don't mean to intrude.
Yeah,
Excuse us.
yeah. Come over here.
Necro wants to just keep looking at this dude. He doesn't want him to walk around or anything. He's just gonna stand here.
Okay. He just kind of, Kamir just kind of puts his hands together and kind of puts them both on top of the cane and then kind of just eyeing back at you.
Yeah.
And then you watch as his eyes kind of like for the longest time he was just looking you right in the eyes, and then you see his eyes kind of look over your scythe and kind of just looking at it.
Yeah, Necro's fully believing that this guy was the spy and intruder from earlier.
Okay, we're on the same page. So One Eye, I know you guys didn't really go back to Illyria and you kind of stayed in Trencher. Well, I went back and we were in really big trouble. And so I think we should be wary of people we talk to so close to Illyria still. That's just my one gold piece right there.
Well, I don't know if
She
you
kind of claps
noticed,
her
but
hands together.
I haven't exactly been the most forthcoming with information. I'm not a fool.
Okay, I'm making sure because I don't think you should have told him you're not the captain.
Mir kind of raises his hand. I mean no ill will. I just needed a place to kind of stand firmly for a few hours.
Oh, brother, cover your ears. You're not supposed to be listening.
My apologies. And he brings his hands to his ears.
I highly doubt whether he can hear us or not that he can't hear us. Am I correct? And I kind of look back at him.
He nods.
Son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm. I told you, I'm not a fool.
Okay. Well, you know what? You're the captain now. Deidre salutes One Eye and then just steps away.
I give her a salute, as you were.
Ahoy.
I didn't catch your name, ma'am.
My name?
Dahlia. I believe.
No, no. That's
He just gives
close. You
her-
want to take a guess? Take a guess.
No, he gives her like the sharpest look, like
You want me to guess?
Yeah, guess my name.
He kind of pauses for a moment, looks you up and down. I'm not really good at guessing names, but I would say you kind of look like a Sarah.
No, so my first name starts with an E and it's really hard to pronounce, so I just go by E, but my full name is Enormous Peter.
Enormous you're just pulling my leg.
No, I wish I was kidding. Deidre like starts to tear up.
Oh, I didn't mean anything by it. That's an interesting name. I did.
You can just call me Enormous P.
Oh, my apologies, Normus P. Yeah, it's quite cruel of a name for a parent to give to their child, but
That's why I ran away from home.
he kind of looks a little awkward and a little frazzled. Can I just call you P then?
Sure.
P for short.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I just wanted a few. He kind of brings it as he kind of stops for a moment. He brings a handkerchief up to his lips and coughs into it for a good few minutes, and then tucks the handkerchief back into his lapel.
Was there blood on that handkerchief at all? Or just snot?
Give me a perception check.
I'm standing right next to him, so can I roll advantage?
He was trying to hide it.
Uh,
He has it very close to his chest. He went from mouth to chest to pocket.
all right. That is a 26.
Before you even
Because I'm staring at him like
See?
death stare.
before you even see the slight bit of liquid that kind of comes out of his mouth that gets dampened into the cloth quite quickly, but to your very keen eyes, you see a dark-looking blood.
All right.
And as he tucks it into his pocket, both of your eyes kind of meet for a moment, and you feel like this really weird tinge in the back of your head
Yeah, Necro
as you
wants.
hear something kind of just echoing into your mind. No one else hears that but you.
Yeah, Necro's uneasy. He wants to ask him if he's all right.
He just kind of gives you this very long stare, almost like you've seen this stare before, almost like a silent gesture, kind of.
Like he heard me or he didn't.
He thinks he definitely has the eyes of he knows what you saw, and he's just kind of like, hush.
Hmm.
You get that same feeling about it. It feels very familiar to you, like when you've seen the king kill innocent people and then make direct eye contact with you, to be like very hush hush.
Necro's going to grip his scythe just a little bit tighter. But I'm not going to do anything at this moment.
Okay.
But Necro is ready to swing.
Okay. You see him grip his cane a little.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, P, One Eye, and Skeletor. I just don't mean to intrude or bother anyone or whoever else is on the ship here. I know there's a few more of you. I don't mean to pry or anything. I just need to finish one of my masterpieces, you see. As he kind of leans down into his bag, and then pulls out a canvas and sets it down, and you can see that it has very basic line work down, and you can see this very beautiful painting of what looks like the sea and the sky kind of meeting the sea, and outlines of what looks kind of like an eye sitting over the sea. You see, I just wanted to have a little bit more of a stable ground. He taps the cane as he kind of speaks. I can only walk on the sea with this, as he kind of gestures the cane, but it makes it a little bit hard for painting.
Yeah, I imagine the water isn't exactly a stable surface for police and easel upon.
Yeah, so I was just out from my stroll and saw your ship, and I just thought it was quite a tie of fate, you may say. Bless the life.
From whence do you hail? We've been at sea for a couple of days now.
Well, I hail from the unknown continent, about north, about northeastern from the mountain ridge. Well, he kind of looks down at the ground for a moment. Well, I guess I technically don't really have a home, sir. I gave up my homestead to a friend of mine and his daughter.
Uh-huh. What brings you? So, out of character question, we're pretty far at sea, aren't we?
You are very far out in sea.
Yeah. Okay. So
You
that's
can see
that.
the shore to your left, but it is very far.
Right. So I'll ask him. So, what brings you this far out?
Well, very much the sea is a bit of a second home to me. You see, I don't want to delve too much into it, but he kind of brings his hand to his chest and he pulls out a small locket with the symbol that you immediately recognize, a very familiar symbol of the goddess of the sea, Lyriel. As he kind of holds it in his hand, you see the goddess, me. She helped me a long time ago when I was dealing with some troubles after my late wife passed away. And sometimes I like walking out into the sea and feeding her creatures, and I like delving long periods so I can finish my masterpiece and get it exactly how I want it. The sea is quite vast, so I can only see as much of it as I can. But I'm a bit of a traveling therapist, I guess you could say.
A unique profession, especially one that involves, especially when you're traveling on water to do it. But I'll leave you to it then.
I appreciate it kindly, sir. He kind of props the canvas onto the easel and starts kind of getting out these different looking homemade jars with different colors and blotches, and you see a mortem and pestle kind of just off to the side, and you see other like brushes that he begins to kind of like set out, and kind of just gets down onto the ground and kind of sets his cane to the side as he just starts preparing and prepping his paints. I don't mean any bother, and if anybody wants to sit and watch, I don't mind the company.
Oh yeah, Necro's not leaving. at
Oh, I'm
all.
gonna go sit up and by him. Therapize me, Grandpa.
Therapize. You have some demons there, P.
I sure do.
He cracks open a couple of these cans of
Can I
paint
just say
and
something out of character for a second?
yeah, sure.
I thought you, like, I totally forgot I told him the wrong name. I was like, why the hell is he calling me P? That's playing for Sweet Pea. What the fuck's going on?
No, you told him your name is P, so now he believes that your name is P. He kind of dabs a
I
couple
tried
of
to
color.
give it a false name.
Yeah, he dabs a couple of paints onto the a piece of board, and as he's doing so, he kind of gestures over to Necro and then back to you, Deidre. Is he you guys friends or?
He's my pet.
Oh, so you have that kind of relationship.
I'm gonna mimic cracking a whip.
Necro is going to try to shove Deidre.
Okay.
Do I just roll a normal 20?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not trying to hurt her as like an
No, yeah,
attack.
I understand. It's gonna be no damage, non-lethal, like her slap.
Yeah.
There is a shove attack option.
Yeah, if you do want to shove attack, you
No, I
can.
don't. I rolled a 14.
Does it hit your armor class, Deidre?
Oh me, probably. I would. Yeah, it does. Mine's a 12.
Okay. You Necro
Damn.
gives you a good shove.
I'm going to burst into tears, but not because it actually hurt, because I want to put on a show.
The moment you push Deidre,
I overreact and fall over.
oh dear God. One moment, let me see if you would actually do that or not. He immediately looks a little bit distraught. Come now, you don't have to shove a fight. And is it a lover's quarrel, or do you have some issues with your relationship? No need to shove a lady.
Yeah, Necro's just gonna give him the death stare right now.
I'm gonna
Welcome to
pick
the
myself up,
chaos.
dust
When I said
myself
step
off.
away.
It's okay. Lee, may I call you that?
That's fine, I guess.
It's fine. He just
Well,
gets in moods.
I
Ever
see.
since we lost our little pet dog overboard 30 minutes ago, he's just been really snippy. It was his fault though. He was hanging it over the edge like he was on the Titanic. You ever seen that movie?
I don't know what a movie is, but I would say that it seems like you've had quite the troubles, and you are traveling together on this here ship with your other compatriots and friends, I assume?
We're all more than just friends.
Oh, so is it like a he kind of looks a little awkwardly and kind of leans forward towards you, Deidre. Is it like a group thing
Necro takes a half step forward toward him.
towards Calm?
Yeah, toward Lee.
Yeah, Callum Lee.
Yeah.
Calmly.
Yeah, like as he's saying that, just to make him uncomfortable.
Are you trying to intimidate him?
No.
He's trying to kiss
Okay.
him.
No.
Okay.
Necro just wants to just, as soon as he says groupie, Necro gets closer to him.
Okay. He just looks at you as you step closer, and then looks back over to you, Deidre. He doesn't really talk much, I see. Well, that could be the main problem here. There needs to be a little bit more communication, I think.
No, it's not a group thing. We're like a family.
A family. All right. Well, I know about family. I have three boys of my own, so I understand it can be a little bit hard.
Yep. Did any of your boys ever just go silent after they maybe accidentally, purposefully threw their dog overboard?
Not to my recollection, ma'am, but my boys definitely had a little bit of troubles at the younger years, but a little bit of communication and subtle discipline and hard work always got those boys right into shape.
I'm gonna wipe the tears away from my eyes. No more sad Deidre.
He
But
brings out
hopeful.
like a small little handkerchief and like hands it over to you. It's a clean one.
I'm just
Well,
gonna, I'm gonna wipe my eyes with it and then just throw it at Necro.
well,
Necro,
Skeletor, I think you should try to have a little bit more communication with your lady here if you're going to have a deeper relationship, as she did quite calmly talk about. I see that you could possibly try, possibly an exercise. Why don't you say, Skeletor, why don't you say how you feel?
Wait, Kellen,
Yes, P?
you said this helped with your boys. I feel like because we're all using our names here, it would help us if you told us the names of your boys because this is all just a really big family dynamic on this boat.
Well, his first son's name is He-Man.
You want me to tell you the name of my boys, or you're telling Skeletor he's gonna tell me the name of his boys?
No, you, Kellen, your family. I'm interested because maybe we can use and glean information off your family for our lives.
Well, my wife's name is Yarpy Lee, and my son's is Leon, Takar, and Lumen.
Okay. So which one was the rowdiest?
Well, they were all quite rowdy. I mean, they were triplets, and I mean, Leon technically was the firstborn, so I guess Leon was probably the more rowdy of the kind, and he's a bit of the leader of the trio. He's a bit hard to handle at times, wouldn't necessarily listen when I was telling him to go out and take out the wood, but with a bit of conversation, he seemed that he was having a bit of a hard time with the pressures of being the oldest of the three, and without a mother figure, you see. He kind of looks down at the ground for a moment as he kind of dabs some more paint onto the canvas. She left us about a week after she gave birth to the three of them, and they only remember small pieces of her, and that probably troubled him at a quite young age and brought up this pent aggression, and that could be possibly Skeletor's reason as well. Maybe he has some pent-up aggression about a past issue.
What would you recommend that Skeletor do?
Well, if he gestures over to you, Necro. Well, Skeletor, if you're not the most conversationalist type, you could try writing down your feelings in a journal or a book, and possibly slowly, either start repeating the words you write down, or even hand off your journal to your beloved here, and maybe it would help open yourself up, like a book, you see.
Necro's going to bring out his book. He's going to draw the best staring face he's possibly ever drawn in his life, to the point where that's how he's feeling, is just staring. So big eyes and just like a line for a face, no emotion. And then he's gonna hand it to this I forget his name, Lee.
Lee said,
He handed it over to him, and he looks at it and looks over back at you. Quite a nice portrait of yourself. I'm not really sure what this is trying to say, but if I had to say what this art means, he looks over back to you, Deidre. I think he's trying to show you his state of emotion at the moment, which is quite solemn and perceptive.
So, as our whole family on board here, how can we help nurture this?
Well, communication is always clear. You can always try small exercises, whether it's his wants or his needs, or you maybe talk more about your wants and your needs. Possibly get everyone to. Should we get everyone together in a circle, or
Yes, we need family therapy right now.
well, would you mind gathering them all, or do I need to?
Necro's gonna start shaking his head no.
Well,
Because-
No, Necro, this is
he doesn't
Skeletor.
seem happy about it.
Skeletor doesn't like confrontation.
No.
Well, a lot of people don't like confrontation, but we also have to make sure that Skeletor here is also has emotions and feelings as well. So we have to make sure that he feels comfortable when he wants to say what he needs to say.
No, Necro doesn't trust this man at all, and if Deidre even tries to call anyone, Necro's gonna try to silence her by putting either just shushing her with his finger, or if she refuses, try to put his hand over her mouth.
Up to Deidre, I guess.
I'm gonna just look at him. Words.
No, yeah, Necro's not saying anything.
While this is going on, is anybody else doing anything?
I was gonna grab a barrel from the lower deck, sit it on the deck, and just sit on it. Just kind of observe from a
Alrighty.
distance. Watch the show unfold.
Do you want to have anything to say about this?
Oh no, I'm just enjoying the show. Don't mind me.
Well, this is your family, son. There's no show about it. This is a show of emotions.
I'm not sure what she told you while I was away grabbing this barrel, but they're no family of mine. Friends, sure. Family, no.
He looks questionably back to you, Deidre. Were you just fibbing to me, girl?
Deidre's I'm gonna grab my stomach real quick and go, oh no, I think I've just shit my pants. I need to leave.
Real quick, are either of these giant crossbow things up here loaded?
None of them are loaded, and you can see that they can also be put onto those metal tracks that go around the ships.
But they're not loaded.
They're not loaded, no. But you do see large arrows off to the side.
I don't want to load it. That's too much.
Okay.
If they were loaded, I was gonna
Ask
fire
Johnny
one off.
5.
Just cause.
If they were already loaded, I was just gonna be messing with it and accidentally fire one off.
Yeah, I mean, you can still mess with it if you want. That's all up to you.
Yeah, but if it's not gonna shoot something,
I
I
guess that's
don't
true.
wanna.
Alrighty. Is anybody else doing anything? Rana? You hear this conversation going on the quarterdeck?
Yeah, I'm just sitting in there listening to everything going on.
Okay.
I'm gonna chat with Oma.
Alrighty.
Oh my, what the?
So where do you go, Deidre? Do you just get up and walk down to the lower deck? That's the closest
Before I go,
privy.
seeing as I can also speak undead,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm assuming this old man does not know undead. I'm-
Who
I'm
knows?
gonna- Yeah, right. I think I'm just gonna. Well, from looking at him, can we glean what race he is?
Just
He looks
shoot
human.
your just shoot your shot. You know, you never know what languages everyone else speaks.
So far, he's been speaking common. He looks pretty human. You can't really see his ears because his hair is pretty long, but
Yeah.
just based on his bit of his face and his gestures, he looks quite human.
And I
Okay.
did point out earlier that he can just hear our thoughts, so
He also, yeah,
Yeah. So I'm gonna use undead. I'm gonna speak undead to Necro real quick. Should we jump him?
Necro, with no thoughts in his head, is going to continue staring at this man, waiting for him to do something to the point where Necro can decapitate him because he does not trust him.
Holmes immediately stands the moment you say something, Deidre, and grips his cane a little bit more and looks over to you, Deidre.
Yeah, Necro definitely knew that he understood.
Oh, son of a bitch. I'm just gonna, like, make a fart noise with my mouth, with my back turned, and then run into the kitchen. So, like,
Okay.
and then run.
Okay. You run into the kitchen, and Rana, you see Deidre just immediately run into the kitchen as the door swings wildly. Kelm immediately turns to you, Necro, and then taps his cane onto the deck of the ship. Now, what do you think she meant by that?
Necro's gonna speak to him and tell me about that dark blood.
Well, this is the first time you're talking to me.
Oh, that's not true.
Kelm looks over to you, One Eye, and then looks back to you, Necro. I know what you are, son. But this is a conversation for a later time.
Necro's just gonna keep just silence staring at him. And
One Eye, by the way, this conversation is not
Mostly inaudible.
correct. It's like weird mouth gestures and like hushes and whispers back and forth.
Got it.
And then Alma immediately turns to you, One Eye. I'm not saying or doing anything foul if you truly believe me. I do not intend on harming anyone here on this ship. I intend to finish my art piece. But
You're fine.
it seems your friend, and he gestures to Deidre that left into the kitchen, it seems that they've meant a bit of ill will towards me. Do you feel the same?
No, I'm not sure if they suspect something that I don't, or what. I plan on just sitting here and admittedly keeping an eye on you, but other than that, no, I don't plan on doing anything.
And I don't plan on doing nothing either. But I just wanted to understand that you understand.
That I do.
He kind of walks over to you, One Eye, in between. Wait, he gotta take a step away from you, Necro. Do you do anything?
Necro's gonna kind of go grab like a quick, like empty barrel real quick and bring it over. So
Okay.
he's like not going like any
Okay.
distance.
He immediately walks over to you, One Eye, and kind of puts himself in kind of like a T pose. You may pat me down for weapons if you'd like. The only weapon I do carry is the cane. If it makes you feel more comfortable.
Nah. You're fine. I have a feeling that I wouldn't find anything anyway.
Indeed. He brings his hands to his sides and then turns his face back to you, Necro. You're now sitting down on a barrel, I assume?
No. This empty barrel, I'm gonna place next to One Eye, and then I'm going to speak to this man and said, "You put your kid in there. I put my scythe in there."
Do you say that? Okay, yeah. Well,
Yep.
yeah. He immediately he nods. He sets his cane into the barrel.
Okay, then Necro put his scythe in the barrel, and then he's gonna kind of take a knee and watch him paint.
Okay. He continues to paint as he kind of turns to you, Necro, and kind of conversates a little bit. So, you're a Reaper then?
Necro's gonna go in his pocket, and he's gonna go grab this hourglass dagger in his pocket. He's gonna hand it to him, without saying it, without answering his question.
He brings his hand up and just kind of dismissively. I understand. I don't need to see the tools of your trade.
Nah,
I've seen something like this before already.
Necro insists that he hangs on to it, at least for a second. Like he's like trying to like not offer it as a gift, but he wants him to look at it.
Okay. He turns and he looks at it, but do you want him to like hold it and look at it?
Yeah,
Or he's...
yeah. I'm letting go of it. Necro's trying to see if he's dying or not.
He hover hands it a bit and then grabs it, and as he does, a really strange warm sensation comes across your hand for a moment. And the moment his hand places around the dagger and he kind of just looks at it, nothing changes about him, but you see this strange strand of gold light, like a tether between him, you, and the dagger.
Okay.
And as it does so, you feel this very, very familiar sensation. As he hands it back to you.
Oh no, he's peed.
Uh, Yeah, Necro's gonna ask what he knows about King Luke.
You should say that.
Yep.
King Luke Carrot, you say? I don't know nothing about no king. But, those instruments you carry and that scythe, I've seen one like it before. A long time ago. He, looks over to you, One Eye. Do you mind if I disrobe?
Won't hurt me at all.
Time for a sheep show.
He kind
Peculiar request, but won't harm me.
I didn't want to bother your senses or kind of surprise
I'm
you
sure
a
I've
bit.
seen worse.
He kind of pulls open his like loose looking shirt, and you see wrapped around his chest are large wrappings and gauze and layers upon layers. And even with the many layers, you see this large gash across his chest that is leaking this blood. And as he kind of holds his shawl kind of up for a moment and then brings it back down and then kind of pats his chest, wipes the lip of his mouth with his handkerchief, continues to paint, kind of looking at the paint as he's talking. I don't know if you necessarily met him, but I know you've at least met him once. For him to make you into what you are now. But I've met the man known as Vincent Barrage many, many moons ago. And to cut it short, he struck me with that blade of his. I fell into the sea, gasping for blood and breath.
Does he say that with anger at all? To the point where like
To your surprise, no. He seems almost, even a smile kind of comes to the corner of his face. At the time when he struck me, I felt nothing but anguish and anger. Until I figured out to myself, and for myself many years later, that he gave me more than he took. You see, after my wife passed, a week after the birth of my sons, I was so filled with rage and anger. When death came for her, I didn't let it go. I challenged death, and he struck me. And when he did, I thought he took everything from me. But as we battled, he revealed to me his name. He revealed to me his trust. Death is quite unforgiving, but also giving at the same time. You see, my wife is not a strong woman, and he gave her a week on this earth for her sons and for me. That is a gift I cannot return. But, as you see, I've been dealing with a sickness. They say when you're struck by death's blade, and if he doesn't reap your soul then, you suffer for years until it claims you one day. For some reason, when he dropped me into the sea, after dealing a mortal wound, he didn't come after me. For I thought he gave me pity, honestly. But I think he gave me purpose. For when I fell and drowned into the sea, I saw a beautiful goddess amongst myself. Lyrel showed herself to me, and I tied myself to her. She said I had a bit more time left, you see, and I needed much more time to raise my sons to be stronger than I, to take on this world. And now that I've come across you all, and now that I've seen you, it begs to differ if our fates might quite align. As he kind of looks off into the distance a bit, as he finishes a couple more strokes onto the paint. He looks back into your eyes, Necro, away from the canvas. I fear that my life is coming to an end here soon, and I think it's yours to take. Is it your first?
I think Necro's just gonna kind of ignore him, but listen to him. Like he's not gonna respond to anything, but he's gonna I want him to know that he's listening.
He just kind of nods back and looks back to the paint. Well, not much of a talkative time, just like your girly friend said, but I appreciate this conversation, honestly. It's been a bit of a burden on my old man heart, you see. But, I got a couple more days left, and, I don't know where you guys are going, but, if you ever do come across my old homestead, I got a couple friends there that live there now. Good friend of mine and his daughter. You should visit sometime. It's a very lovely home. Right near a prairie. Beautiful forest and kind trees, kind animals. Have you been to the unknown continent?
Is he asking Necro this?
Yes.
Yeah, Necro will shake his head. Yes. But he's not gonna like share the amount he's been there.
Okay. He turns around and kind of looks over to you one eye. Have you been to the unknown continent?
I imagine I would have.
When's the last time you visited?
I'm just trying to think. This is out of character, but I'm assuming my character would have been there at some point or another. It's not like
You
it's not like an
definitely,
odd place to go, yeah.
yeah. You've necessarily been on the unknown continent, mostly ports and docks a lot. Few dives and stuff on some side cities, and a few. You've been out there for quite a while, yeah. Not too long ago. Probably a few months or so.
Okay. Then I will respond with that. Some months ago.
I see. Have you been deep into the deeper, richer parts of the continent itself?
No, I remain coastal.
I understand. Well, this one right here, he nods to Necro. I already know this, but my estimation is if you guys are heading to the unknown continent and possibly getting deeper into the actual devil itself, I'd be slightly cautious of the ground you tread on.
I'm fairly cautious of all ground I tread while not at sea.
And
Unfamiliar territory and all that.
as he says that, he reaches into a pouch and throws you a sack, a small like sack about the size of your palm. And he kind of throws it to you.
To me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll catch it.
As you catch it, you kind of feel it in your hands. It just feels like a bag of dirt.
Interesting.
That is soil from, I believe, one of the deserts out to the other parts of the opposite side of the continent. And this, he pulls out another bag and tosses it to you. Very similar size, and tosses it over to you. And the moment you catch it, a strange sensation kind of tingles across your palm for a moment. And then I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Hmm. Ooh, 6.
When this bag of dirt hits your palm, it's odd. Unlike the other bag, it is almost very cold and kind of brings a slight jolt to you. And you even feel almost like a slight tinge of like fear for a moment, and then it kind of fades. And as he kind of like observes your expression for a moment, he kind of looks over to you. That is the soil that is closer to the center of the continent. And the moment you tread on it, you will feel death's presence. I don't know why, and I don't know how, but I feel like it has some type of correlation with the natives that live there on that land. The closer you get to the middle of the continent also happens to be quite close to their temples. And for some odd reason, the closer you get, the closer to death you feel, or even a inherent fear. I just don't know why or how, but I blame the gods for this.
Hmm.
He turns to you, Necro, as you kind of have both kind of bags of soil in your hand. The one that was giving you a slight tinge of fear is beginning to warm in your palm now. As he turns back to you, Necro. What exactly are you doing on the seas, Reaper?
Yeah, Necro's not going to respond because he just doesn't know. So I don't know if he feels like reading his mind, but Necro's definitely thinking like, what am I doing here? Like he's trying to figure it out himself.
Okay. He kind of just looks inquisitively at you as you kind of just look indifferent. Well, whatever your reason is, you don't have to tell me necessarily. I'm just trying to help out another person in need. Well, Skeletor, if that is your real name, I have many questions, but I also have many more days to ask said questions. If you have any questions for me from here onward, I would say it now, or I'm gonna get back to my painting.
Yeah, no, Necro doesn't have any questions right now. But
He nods and
definitely
just
more relaxed.
he nods and just says, "Good," and then begins to continue to paint. What is everybody else doing?
I'm just gonna hang out and talk with Alma.
Okay.
What time is it in the world?
It is about midday, getting closer to the evening. The suns are a lot lower in the sky, but not sunset close.
Oh,
I'd say about.
I thought we had started midday evening.
Yeah, I thought he
Uh,
aborted it on evening.
Yeah, he about the evening, but I'm just saying it's about probably 6 hours until it starts getting like a little darker.
Hmm.
Yesterday's session started early in the morning.
I think Bugger is just enjoying the view up here.
Ready.
I'm just hanging out with him.
Well, as the days slowly start going by, he just continues to paint. Doesn't really do much. Occasionally leans down and kind of refreshes a couple of his paints. He gets a cup of water and kind of brushes and cleans a few brushes and switches to a different paint occasionally and just kind of grumbles to himself as he works on his piece.
Just polishing my shield.
Alrighty. Is there anything else anybody wants to do for the day before it becomes night?
No, sir.
Therapize me.
You're gonna go back to the kiln?
Yep.
Alright. How long do you hang out in the kitchen until you come back out?
I'll give it a few hours.
Okay.
Like
Do
2 hours.
you and Rana have a conversation, or is just you staring quietly back at each other?
We're obviously having a girls' day.
Ah, I see.
The events are TBD, but it's like a need-to-know basis.
Ah, I see.
Mm-hmm.
All right then, I respect it.
That's right.
Information that the DM doesn't even know about.
Hey man,
It's
it's
called having
girl
God
talk.
knowledge. Look it up.
All right. If everyone's just kind of chilling and either just talking back and forth, I'll just, Deidre, what would you like to say to Kelm as you continue? It looks like he's still working on his painting. It looks almost done. You see that now that the eye that's in the kind of the center of this painting with the backdrop of the sea and the sky, the eye looks almost very realistic. And as he kind of like paints it and kind of shapes it and gives even like the eye a little bit more reflection of the actual sea and the sky itself.
So, Keln,
Yes, P it was.
you ever paint a naked lady?
I have. Yes, I painted my wife.
Oh, hell yeah. That's true love.
Quite. She was a lovely woman.
Now I have a question. Did you give her bigger boobs on purpose, or did you make it real to life?
Well, she quite had large breasts, honestly, so didn't have to exaggerate too much.
Thalgrim hears the word breast and comes sprinting. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That's lovely to hear.
Yes, she was quite lovely.
Okay.
For two big reasons.
Did you come over just to talk about my wife's breasts?
Snap my fingers and kind of do my fist like a downward swing. Well, shoot, you got me.
He kind of looks at you a little inquisitively.
Nah, I'm just kidding, buddy.
Well, all right then. Necro, are you still nearby?
Yeah, I'm still right there watching him paint,
Okay.
listening to everything.
Oh, you missed the part about the boobs.
That's
Necro
okay.
ignored it.
That's fine. He
Necro's not a boob guy.
as
Gotta
you
write
guys-
that down.
as you're kind of just looking over his painting as he talks, so you know the Reaper then?
I'm trying to get to know him. Does that count for something?
Yeah, I think it counts for something. Have you recently met him?
I'd say within the week.
I see, so it has been that long.
No.
You have an eye for him then?
I have two eyes. Thank you very much. Deidre shoots a look over at one eye.
I understand that. He didn't want to talk too much to me either, but I did get a little bit of lip from him.
Oh, from one eye?
No, from Skeletor.
Oh, well, Skeletor just started talking to me, so.
Oh, I see.
What can I say? I'm gonna flip my hair over my shoulder. I'm a woman of class and persistence.
So, does that mean you can understand what he says?
Yeah.
I see. He kind of looks back at his painting and continues to poke the eye a little bit more. Well, P, might I ask you a few questions?
Sure. Deidre, I'm gonna sit cross-legged on the ground now and just hang out, I guess.
Do you have a destination in mind? Or are you guys just freeballing it?
I'll be honest with you here, Kel. If I were a dude, I wouldn't wear no boxers, so yeah, I'm freeballing.
I see. Well, where did you learn that interesting tongue of yours for the undead?
Oh, well, I grew up in a pretty okay village out in the woods and didn't feel like I ever really fit in, so I ran away until I met my mentor, and she helped me on my way. It's part of my trade. I'm a follower of, Weejass.
As you say that, his eyes kind of widen a little bit and then go back to lax. I see. That's quite interesting. Never met the woman myself, only heard stories.
I more so recently met her, and I can say she's also a P.
He kind of laughs a bit under his breath. Well, Ain't that interesting? He looks over to you, Necro, and then back to you, Deidre. Well, it's lovely meeting you folk, and I appreciate not being jumped necessarily.
Wait, I don't know who told you that. No one here was ever gonna harm you.
Yeah,
And
that's what I thought.
suddenly I hit him with my
With the
flail
whip?
from the top ropes.
Dang. Well, I'm gonna be losing a bit of sunlight here soon, so I might wrap up the painting for tonight.
Right, Barbaros.
He kind
Okay.
of starts putting some of the paint down and capping a couple of them, and then putting them back into jars and putting them back into his satchel as he brings down the easel a bit. Is there a place where I could possibly lay down and store my belongings? Safely, of course.
There's a little boat right here.
Little dinghy.
Put him in it and shove him over.
All you hear is the dinghy lowers into the water. I'm a spy.
No, I'm
As he
gonna go
kinda-
up to One Eye because One Eye is the captain now. One Eye, this old man needs help.
Callum kind of leans forward and grabs the cane out of the barrel and kind of leans on it a bit as he walks towards One Eye.
Hmm.
Is there a possible bunk or room I could possibly put down some of my paints so they can dry?
Yeah, I believe the what are they called? Quarters, wherever it is, or the majority of where there's a bunch of cots or whatever.
Hmm.
What's the room called?
The
Out
bunk
of
room.
character.
Bunk room?
Is it just called the bunk room? All right, yeah, then yeah. Well, there's a bunk room below deck. I suppose you can put your things there.
I appreciate that kindly. I don't mean to oppose or bother anyone. Is anyone else sleeping in that room too?
I will be, for one.
Well, all right then. Well, I hope not to bother you then.
You shouldn't. I'm a fairly heavy sleeper.
Don't tell him that.
Good to know. Is there direction to said bunk room, or may I have a guide?
You can get
Follow
there
me.
if you believe.
I'll stand up, picking up my spear and shield as well. I had to put these away anyway.
As he kind of walks with
Right
you
here.
towards the lower deck, he kind of eyes your spear a bit.
It's
What a
vault
beautiful
of privy.
spear you have there.
Family heirloom.
It's quite beautiful. You
Agreed.
you're quite tactful with said spear.
I know how to use it, if that's what you're asking.
It's been a long time since I've seen another man wield such a very beautiful spear. Have you done any possible training this evening? Would you like to spar?
Now you're speaking my language. I would.
And before he gets to the bottom of the steps, probably best to do it on the upper deck so we don't hit any corners or doorways.
Agreed. Take your things below deck with me, and then we'll come back up.
Sounds fun. As he walks with you in tandem, and he finds a nice corner to set his paints and easel on, and puts a little protector over the top of the canvas so it doesn't smudge or move around too much, as he kind of finds a little place to take the easel with a little chain and kind of locks it into place so it has a nice steady place so it doesn't lean or crash over as the ship begins to sway. he just kind of looks around curiously around the ship as you're kind of showing him around and kind of pointing out a few obvious like stays or privies that he could be using, and then he makes his way back up the stairs with you with his cane in hand.
If he has his cane in his hand, Necro definitely has his scythe.
Okay. Do you make your scythe appear to you, or you just grab it from the barrel?
I'll just grab it. They don't.
Okay.
They don't need to know that.
Okay. You then back walk. You see Calum and One Eye come back to the top of the deck as he stands off a bit to the side and looks you over. One Eye. How long have you been fighting?
Years at least.
Years.
Several.
I see.
A decent chunk of my life, I'd say, actually.
I see.
It's not something I do often, luckily enough. I'm usually smart enough to avoid that. But I know how to hold my own.
All right.
Whenever you're ready. And I'll just prep myself.
He'll stand up a good 15 feet away from you as he taps his cane and then lifts it from his hand. And as he does so, he mutters to himself under his breath, "Dead to the sea." And as he does so, the cane on the bottom begins to extend as the water and sea foam begins to build at the bottom of the cane as it extends a few feet, as it becomes a large, hooked blade, like a elongated spear, as he flicks it in his hands and his palms, as seawater sprays from the tip of it onto the ground, as it forms a very hardy navy blue-like blade at the tip of it, as he stands in a very defensive stance with his spear ready.
Well, well. Ready when you are.
All right, then.
Did they announce that they're sparring?
He did mention it when they were making their way down.
Is that something we heard?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want
Even
to
if you didn't, you would see me literally like stancing up and getting ready. It's not like it's
Oh yeah.
all of a sudden.
I'm just saying that Necro is not the most people person. He might think this is combat going on. I just want to make sure that he knows that they're just fooling around with
Pedro,
each
was
other.
there something you wanted to do, by the way, before this all happened?
Nope, I just wanted to talk about boobalas.
Okay. I just saw you say at DM, so I was like, oh.
Yeah, look above that.
Ah, okay. Alright. As Kelm kind of readies himself and looks over to you, One Eye, very steady, you see that his hands were very quite trembling as he held the cane aloft, but his hands look very still as he holds the spear pointed towards you. Don't hold back, boy. And he's going to leap forward and make a strike towards you.
Alright.
Does a 19 hit you?
It does.
He will strike the side of your palm and give it a good thwack, but nothing too lethal. He will just deal 1 point of damage as the blade kind of wraps against your knuckles a bit.
Hmm.
He kind of chuckles to himself.
Quite quick.
I still got it.
Good to know, and I'll just as I'm saying that, I'll try to like quickly get in like smack him with the back end of the spear.
Okay, you take him at the blunt end of it already.
Whoa, I don't know why I rolled all that. Oh, the damage. Looks like I just got a 9 to hit.
You lunge forward with the blunt end of the spear. He brings up the blunt end of his cane as it kind of curves and then hooks around the blunt end of your spear, and he reflects it back down at you and kind of pushes the blunt end of the spear to the ground. And as he does so, he goes for another strike towards you to hit your shoulder. Does a 18 hit you?
Yes, it does. This guy's rolling well.
He wraps and slaps the blunt of the blade and kind of wraps against your armor, but it doesn't hurt and doesn't try to go deep at all. He just kind of flicks it as you hear the tinging sensation of your armor kind of bulge a bit as the spearhead kind of hits you, and you feel this immense amount of strength from this old man kind of pushing to your arm a bit. It even brings your arm and elbow close to your chest and almost digs into your ribs a bit, and he kind of chuckles to himself as he kind of stands back a little bit as he does so. You gotta move a little bit faster to keep up.
Well, as I said, before I finished halfway through that sentence, I strike again. 17 this time.
Where are you trying to hit him?
I guess I'll just try to like jab him in like the gut actually.
Okay.
Again with pretty much spear. I can just pretty much turn my spear backwards and just be using the haft.
Okay. You immediately, like, as the pain of the wince of your shoulder kind of bows a bit, and then you immediately catch him with his arms down and spear off to the side and defensively position as you swiftly see a small opening in the middle of his chest as you pound it right into his stomach. He brings his hand to his stomach and kind of chuckles to himself. You're quite the W. As he takes a few steps forward, and then he's going to try one more strike at you. Also going for the stomach. Does a 22 hit you?
Oh, if an 18
I
hit
don't
him.
know.
18 hit him. I wonder if it's
Yeah.
22 does.
He flips the blade as well, seeing you taking the blunt end, and kind of jabs you in the rib as well, and he kind of just plants it deep. And as he does so, you feel like the almost the smell of like sea salt very strong as every one of these blows kind of waft around you. And then he brings the spear in again, and as he does so, he kind of tucks it down. And then even holds it off to the side in a very showboaty way.
Well.
Well, even in these years, I still got it. And as he does so, he kind of leans forward a little bit, and you see a little bit of grimace come to his face as he brings his handkerchief to his mouth, and he coughs wildly into his handkerchief for a good 5 minutes as he leans against the side of the ship. And as he does so, you see the cane slowly shift from a spear head and shorten down to a familiar cane as he kind of lanes it off to the side, and he puts his back to the back of the railing of the ship and kind of has a bit of a coughing fit and kind of waving you off a little bit to kind of signify his surrender.
Yeah, I was gonna pursue.
Yeah, he kind of kneels down and kind of wipes his mouth a little bit and then kind of adjusts himself. You're quite strong. You're just about there.
To be fair, I do focus more on speed than strength, but I try.
I see it. Get your footwork a little bit more firm. Loosen your arms a little bit away from your ribs, and you'll have it just down pat. You remind me of a younger version of me.
Yeah. Well, I do have the one advantage of not fighting alone.
And I just kind of nod to Oma.
Elma nods back to you. Callum kind of looks over to the small Drake there. He a friend of yours? A pet?
Companion.
Companion. Aye. Well. He looks up to the sky a bit as the sky begins to darken a little bit more. The suns begin to lower in the sky as you see like faint bits of stars kind of slowly starting to gather in the sky. Well,
Real quick, I'm gonna just interject. Tell me,
You can understand or hear thoughts, yeah?
Well, not necessarily.
No?
He brings his hand to his head, and he speaks in your mind. The only reason why I can speak into your head like this is because of the goddess's blessing. You see, she's a bit of a patron of mine.
I'll try to reply in thought as well. But
Can
you
do.
can't hear, can you?
Yeah, he can hear you. When you
Oh.
repeat back to him, it's more of a one-way message back and forth, but I can't necessarily hear what everyone's thinking, but I'd like to think I do.
Noted. Then you should be. Well, next question then. Do I need to know a familiar language to you?
No, you shouldn't have to.
Then, you should try speaking with Oma.
He kind of concentrates his mind for a moment, and you see him kind of look over towards Oma, and then you see like them both kind of lock eyes for a moment and minds for a moment, and he looks back towards you. I see.
Yeah, definitely no mere pet.
He kind of, you see like a little bit of like almost like immediate kind of respect and camaraderie towards Oma as he kind of stands up and kind of wipes his mouth. Well, it's getting late, and I'm not much for a crowd, so I think I must be getting off to sleep. These old bones ain't the same as they used to, but I appreciate the spar.
Of course, same to you. I need the practice. And that much is apparent.
All right. Well, good night to y'all.
Sleep well.
He gestures over to you, Necro, and over to you, Deidre, and both says in Undead, good night to you all.
Necro ain't saying shit.
Okay.
Deidre's. Well, I'm gonna just go.
All right. He sticks his tongue out playfully and makes his way towards the lower deck as you just see him wobble down with his cane. And that's where we'll end this session for tonight.
Sounds good.
Yep.
I know it's getting a little bit late, but
A lot of farts in this one.